Good morning, my neighbors! Hey, fuck you! Yes! Yes! Fuck you too!
Hello, everyone.
Budget
What up,
Committee's
everybody?
recommendations on the budget, and we hear public comment on that.
See how bad the echo is this morning.
The report of the Budget, Finance, and Innovation Committee is now before the council. We will be taking public comment today throughout this meeting. That will be the only thing we'll be doing, other than our very important presentation.
Hopefully
to
the echo
precede
isn't
that.
too bad on you guys.
And then tomorrow will be the day that we take up consideration of the
Not bad
budget,
at all.
the budget
Well, that is
recommendations
good.
from the committee,
on.
and debate and act upon it. So today will be only comment from the public on the budget.
Oh, only
So
comment from
with
the
that,
public,
Mr.
huh?
Clerk, what is our first order of
Yeah,
business?
sounds good.
Approval of the minutes of May 21st,
up,
2024.
What's up, everybody?
Councilmember
Hi, DS.
McCosker moves. Councilmember Lee
morning.
seconds. Next.
Commendatory
Cross our
resolutions
fingers
for
at it.
approval.
Councilmember Rodriguez moves. Councilmember Padilla seconds. Next.
Item number 1 is an item notice
Well,
for
it's
public comment.
About the
10
budget.
votes
Oh
are
my God,
required
a
for
fresh
consideration.
cut.
Very good. So we
but,
will be
it's only
taking public
public
comment
comment
on
on
that item shortly.
Which is good.
But first,
Hopefully that means there's no.
we'll be taking up.
Hopefully that means they're not gonna. What do you call it? Oh, they are. Damn.
Yeah, we'll be taking up our presentation. If I could ask Councilmember Lee, are you prepared to begin today's presentation? All right. Councilmember Lee, you have the floor.
All right, here we go. Here we go. It looks pretty packed in there. Looking to see if I see any regulars. I don't see any at the current moment. Let's see. That's a better shot.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, today I wanted to bring you attention to our annual celebration
Sorry
of
for last
National
night, guys.
Public
Spectrum
Works Week.
boned us in the bottle.
This week is cities across Los Angeles are celebrating the incredible
And,
men and
you know what
women
I
who
say
dedicate
about,
themselves
Spectrum.
to keeping
Shout
our
out to all
cities
you guys
going and to
working at
making them
Spectrum.
better
Oh, you
each
people can
and
kiss the
every
fattest
day.
part of my
This
ass.
campaign
That'd be
started
the
back in
fattest part.
1960 to bring attention to the importance
Morning,
of public
Terry.
works in everyday
Yessie.
lives of people.
Morning,
Public
Sky,
Works
Andrew,
Week gives
Jake
us an
Walker,
opportunity
Max, Llama.
to acknowledge the tens of thousands of men and women in North America who provide and maintain the infrastructure
Yeah, I didn't even
and
know I was
services
gone because
collectively
I
known
said it looked good
as Public
yesterday, and I
Works.
was like, "What the fuck?"
And as chair of the
This
Public
one
Works
didn't work,
Committee,
and that one
it is
didn't
so
work.
important for me to share
At
my
least it was at the
gratitude
end
to
of
the
the
men
chase.
and women of Public Works and the work that they do on a 24/7
Makeup
basis.
stream? No, Brandon.
Our
Come on,
city
Brandon,
depends
we
on
was
the
there
essential
2
core
hours or
services
something last
that are
night. Come on.
maintained by our public works professionals.
stream.
And while sometimes those efforts may go unnoticed
like an
to the
hour
general
left
public,
early. We
this
left an
week is
hour
our opportunity to shine a spotlight on them and sing their praises. Because Public Works
Went
has
3
been
hours,
serving our
18
city for
minutes.
118 years, and throughout those decades,
Yesterday?
the department has
Damn
evolved
close.
in countless ways, and today handles an unbelievable amount of work. So today I'm happy
so
to have
tired
with me
today,
so
too.
many
I don't know
leaders of our
why.
Public City Works Department,
Tired, dude.
from our board commissioners to the bureaus, all in celebration of this important week. So let me be
What
the
does the
first
shirt
one to
say?
say
Who
thank
ate
you
all the
to
pussy?
everyone here today,
Question mark.
and to everyone, to all the Public Works professionals who even on a day like today are still hard at work across the city, upholding their mission to keep Los Angeles going. Truly, Public Works is at the core of what we should be doing as a city. They are part of those core services, and I'm so appreciative of all the work that they
Spectrum has
do.
been all right this
Sometimes
year.
the things
It's
that
like
they
the
are
first
involved
time we
in
dumped
aren't
it
the,
this year.
exciting shiny penny stuff, but they are the important things that keep this city
not
running.
much you can do, you know
So
what I mean?
now I'd like to welcome the president of the Public Works Committee, the Board of Public Works, Aura Garcia, to give some remarks on behalf.
Hi, Calamity Girl. You're all good. Good morning. Thank you so much for the dono. Good to see you.
Good morning, council members, and thank you, Council Member Lee, for your time and for taking this time giving us an opportunity to say a few words on behalf of the 6,000 men and women from the Department of Public Works. Throughout our presentation this morning, you'll see pictures of, those are real life pictures of our staff and personnel that are out there doing just a great work. And I say real life because they're not stock. This is actually our folks
Yankees
out there
hat in
at
there.
work.
No
We
way.
appreciate your leadership and the leadership of Mayor Karen Bass so that we can continue to provide the necessary and core services
Asian
that
on the right is
our
hot.
4+ million Angelinos expect from us. This year's theme is Advancing the Quality of Life for All, which is already embedded into our mission. From
Manager,
our
thank you so much.
engineers to our
Appreciate ya.
street maintenance crews, to our refuse collection drivers, to our contract inspectors and street light crews, our bureaus cover a wide range of services. Public Works Department also works on critical initiatives like our urban canopy, our film office, our petroleum office, who
mute her? Of
executes
course I can.
very critical work for our city, and in the informational campaign of our climate emergency office. The city of Los Angeles is a leader in environmental sustainability
the tie
efforts.
back there. I
Just
don't know,
yesterday,
Paisley, I'm not
we
into
held our
that, but
6th annual beautification
it's a nice color,
conference.
that mauve
Every year, we
color.
plan events
Nice.
during this week that highlights the work of our
Oh, mauve.
department. The week started off with our staple event of Accessing LA, geared towards small business owners. Today, street lighting will be convening leaders in the energy field, and tomorrow we will be supporting our city students at the annual Kids Ocean Day, a program that educates young children on how to be better stewards of the ocean and life. And Friday, during our board meeting, we will recognize Public Works teams that have gone above and beyond this year. Thank you once again for recognizing our department during this week of National Public Works Week. Our Bureau
National
offices
Public
here
Works
represented are Barbara from the Bureau of Sanitation, Keith from the Bureau of Street Services,
the time we're
Ted
wasting
Allen
here
from the
means
Bureau of
another block can
Engineering,
be cleaned
Megan,
up or fixed,
Megan
but
Hackley from the Bureau of
that's just
Street
me.
Lighting, TJ Knight from our board, Paul and Jerry from the Office of Community
Which Asian chick? You
Beautification,
talking about her?
Raul from Bureau of Contract
Asian, I don't
Administration,
think she's
Victor
Asian.
Dang, who handles our
Latino.
financial management system, Miguel de la Peña, who is our director of the Office of Accounting,
She's just one of
Rachel
those
Mallarich, who is
they
our
make
Chief
called
Forest
Chenita.
Officer, and Eva
my
Vitar,
boy
who
Chino.
runs our film
You know what I
office.
mean?
These are
Yeah.
just
He has
some
kind
of the
of,
many
know,
services
eyes
and
that
offices
are
and
Asian
delivery that
looking.
we do through Public
And his
Works.
family called him
And
Chino.
lastly, we want to just also send a huge,
That's how he got
huge
the nickname
message in
Chino.
solidarity
That's
to
not his
other
real name.
public works departments throughout the nation. They are too celebrating today their accomplishments and their highlights. So thank you again, council members, for hearing us and for giving us
could be
this
wrong,
opportunity to express our gratitude
know.
for the work that we do here. And happy Public Works Week to everyone. And that, I want to bring our
is,
city
Jeff.
inspector, John
Josh,
Weimer,
it's
who
good
will
to see
also
you.
say a few
It's
words
good
on
to see
behalf
that
of our
they are
group.
back.
Thank you, President
Good old
Garcia.
spectrum,
To all
huh?
of our council members, it's an honor to stand here and represent the many men and women in this department and the various bureaus that make up the department. The word
Morning,
that comes
Josh.
to mind for me in the notion of quality of life is
Morning,
give.
Mark.
And that's what
I'm
the men
drinking
and
coffee
women in
too,
these
Charlie.
various
Get up
bureaus in
on
this
that so I can
department do.
wake
They
up.
give of themselves, no matter how hot it might be, no matter how difficult the day might be, and the challenge of the work. They are committed to give. Get closer to the
Get
mic.
closer to the mic.
All right.
There you go. Nobody can hear you.
They are committed to give. That's probably a lot better. And I want to thank each and every one of you as we've gone through
Kinda
our
like the
budget
tie,
process.
I'm not gonna
and
lie.
I do have to bring up the
Matches his
word.
stuff.
It was very clear
Not
in
huge
the
on Paisley
discussions
shit,
and the
but
deliberations
something
that
about it I
you
like, I don't know.
get the importance of public works. You recognize
Not
how
bad.
valuable the service that we provide, be it above it or below it
Hey,
or
Alice.
on it. Every single
Shell.
day, every citizen of this city, they utilize what we endeavor very passionately to provide, making sure that the quality of life
I do
is
not
what is
vote, and I
deserved
think
in the city of
politics
Los
is
Angeles. And it does
bullshit.
not happen
Yeah,
without our
Ricardo,
mayor,
well, I
and it
mean,
does not happen
if
without
one
each
day
and
it
every one of
became
you.
not
So know that
bullshit,
we thank
right?
you. We extend to you this day our
need to
arms
vote.
of gratitude to let you know
Otherwise, the
we
same shit
appreciate
keeps
your
happening
letting
over
us
and over.
know you recognize what we do, what it takes to do
Those
that,
unheard
and
voices
your
could make the
willingness to
difference
invest in our
sometimes.
efforts to be
I
better
don't
than
know.
what
I
we've
mean,
done before
maybe
to
none
make
of
the
them
quality
count.
of life
Maybe
better
not
for
one
all.
counts,
So
and it's
thank
just all
each and every
bullshit
one of
and
you and to all the men and women that
set
can't be here
before
this
we even
morning.
know it.
The five of us
They just
in
make
these
you
various
think that
bureaus
you're,
thank them with
you know,
all of
part
our
of
heart
the
for the efforts that they
voting,
extend to make this
process.
place better for all of us. Blessings to all of you.
That's it, Josh. It's the back patting hour. They should all just do this
Council,
instead of clapping with their
President
hands.
Krikorian, unless is anybody on the queue.
They really should. And
I
like
believe,
home
of
chick
course
with her
there is.
gum,
We're
just
talking
chewing
about
it like
public
a
works.
cow.
Okay, good.
So I'd like to first recognize Councilmember Hutt, followed by Councilmember
Oh,
Rodriguez.
man.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, and thank you so much, Councilmember Lee, for bringing in our family. It's really important to take time and acknowledge
That's
the
kinda what I
work
was
that
getting
you
at, Stephen,
do, and from the folks that are trimming trees or fixing potholes or all doing the slurry seals, something I just learned about. I'm just really
don't think it-
happy
you know,
that
it's
we're
not
able to
just-
say
it's
thank
here.
you
It's-
for the
it's
hard work you
everywhere.
do,
It's
the
across the
dedication
entire
in the
planet,
rain, in the
basically.
sun, and
You know,
all the things. And I
Europe's
just
going
want to
through
take a
the same
moment to
thing.
say thank
They're
you.
importing
Really, we
migrants
appreciate
at
your
a
hard work.
alarming rate to take over positions of power within their governments, and it's
Councilmember
happening.
Rodriguez, followed by Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank
Look what's
you.
happening in London. I
Thank
mean,
you,
in
Mr.
England,
Lee,
rather.
for this presentation. We look forward to this
In England.
each and every year so that we can
a
properly
look.
say thank you to the entire
Look what's
Public
happening
Works
in
family.
Ireland right now. They're
you
about
know,
to go into
I-
civil war in
I
Ireland.
always consider myself
Same with
to have been
maybe not
very
even maybe not
blessed
Ireland
to have had
just
an
yet.
opportunity to work
They're
with
on
so
their way,
many
but
of,
Sweden.
You know,
Sweden, too.
John, you're the longest
Lot
tenured
of
general
places
manager
that are
among all the general
this
managers
close to
in the
popping
Public
off.
Works department.
They're tired of it.
But to the longest tenured commissioner as well, Mr.
Thank you for
Davis,
sitting on that, Stinks.
but all the commissioners, all of
Appreciate
the
that, and I'm sure
bureaus,
everybody else
for
did.
all of the work that you do, the men and women that are out in the field, in the
Damon
rain,
just sat on
in
the-
the emergency
on the fucking
responses.
mouth.
It never
Thanks, dude.
ceases. And
Appreciate
I'm
you,
always
bud.
really grateful and appreciative of your work because I got to learn so much working alongside each and every one of you that it made me better prepared for the job that I'm so blessed to have today.
baby.
So I just want to say thank you, and I would be remiss if one of the unsung heroes that always gets
sat
missed,
right
but
on
it's an
there.
important part of our
When he
history.
clicked it, he changed it.
is,
Thankfully,
we
it
have
wasn't
an
on
incredible
stop feed.
institution in Ed Avila and Project Restore, and I had to give you props, Ed, for
she's
you know.
Latino.
We work in a
I don't think she-
magnificent
I don't know,
building
maybe she's
that is
half-half.
iconic
Maybe
here
I'm
in the
wrong,
city of Los Angeles. And if not for the work and the advocacy of Project Restore to protect what is an important part of Los Angeles history, we might be in City Hall East. So for that, I just want to say thank you, sir. You have given so much to our city as well. And
do
so
now, Alice.
often, we neglect, unfortunately, we need to do a better job of making sure we give everyone
what I was
their
saying, Gulf.
well-desered
That's what I
flowers
was
long
getting at.
before
Like,
we're able
they're
to
going
in
off
person.
in
So
Sweden. People
I
are
just want
tired
to
of
say
the
thank you
migrants
to all the
causing
men and
trouble
women
and-
of
and
our
crime
of
and
all
beating
our
up
different bureaus,
people that are citizens of Sweden.
out in the field.
Same thing's
And
happening in
thank
Ireland.
you for
Don't
MacGyvering
think it
through
isn't.
this budget process with us.
Tons
If there
of
was any,
Irish
if there were
homeless.
any departments that I knew
They
were
can't get
capable
a
of
place
doing
to
it,
stay,
it
but
was
they're
you all. 'Cause
filling
I
the
watched-
country
I had
with
an
migrants and
opportunity to
putting
watch
them
you
right
all
up.
close and personal for 3 years, and I'm
It's
just
happening.
grateful to each and every one of
An
you.
so don't think
happy
it's
Public
just
Works
here
Week.
that
Thank
we've
you for
had the
everything you do.
invasion going on. They're invading
Thank
everywhere.
you. And Councilmember Rodriguez is not exaggerating at all about
It's probably
Project
the,
Restore.
one of those
Because quite
assholes,
literally,
the,
there was a movement in this, there were some in the city who contended that City Hall
New
should
World
be torn
Order.
down. This almost 100-year-old building should be torn down because it was no longer earthquake safe. And as a example of what public works professionals do, the entire foundation of City Hall was replaced. And it is now
come
earthquake
on,
safe up to an 8.2 earthquake. It's the tallest base isolated structure in the world,
are we going?
thanks to the
You're not
efforts
gonna lay down
of
on it.
the
That ain't happening.
Department of Public Works and Project Restore to
Okay?
get
That's
that
not happening.
miracle done. We're able to sit still in this beautiful historic
Yeah, why
building.
don't you lay down right
Councilmember Hernandez, followed by Councilmember Price.
Thank you, Council President. And thank you, Councilmember Lee, for bringing these incredible folks to be honored today during Public Works Week. President, thank
know
you
if
for
that's
your
her
leadership. You know, I can name off several things that y'all have done for CD1, the Mayan Corridor, repaving our alleys, cutting tree wells so we can plant new trees, Northeast New Beginnings, and the list goes on and on and on. And I'm incredibly grateful for all that you do, because we're the legislators, but you actually make this city work. You actually make this city better for our constituents and for all of us. And so I don't know what else to say to express that gratitude.
actually don't.
But I'm just so thankful for the work that y'all do every day, day in and day out, behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, to make our city a livable place and to make our city even better so that our community members can thrive. So thank you so much for everything you do. I really appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Councilmember Price, followed by Councilmember Padilla.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, Stephen, it's
Councilman
happening
Lee, thank you
everywhere.
for bringing these
They should
heroes.
send them all.
and
They should send them all to Alcatraz
sheroes,
and let them
in
live out
today.
there.
We know how important
Y'all can live out in
public works
Alcatraz.
is to the quality of life in our community, and so the theme for this year is certainly apropos. But whether you're cutting trees or building
would-
structures
you would be, Josh.
or involved in street maintenance,
Anybody
or the
knows
urban
about tree
canopy,
cutting.
or
It's old Tiffany
contract
Henry.
administration, whatever the task is, Public Works steps up and always does it, and does it well. So we just want to say thank you.
Can I get a
District 9 for enjoying,
and a,
of course, and just celebrating Public Works and what you do to really make us look good
That's for you, Stephen.
as we improve the quality of life for everyone in our community. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Padilla, followed by Councilmember Blumenfield.
So I also want to thank Councilmember Lee for being the one to lead the celebration of Public Works Week. You know, I'm somebody that grew up attending magnet schools that were meant for math, science, and technology. And while I didn't go into the STEAM world, I gotta admit, every time I'm talking to representatives from the public workspace, I'm reminded of being in high school and being really respecting the intelligence behind so many of the engineers that make up our Department of Public Works. So I just want to thank you for your intelligence and choosing to be part of the city family. I know that with the sort of degrees that a lot of you have options. So thank you again. And I want to specifically mention how grateful I am for the innovation that collectively a lot of you are taking. I really appreciate the solar lights that are now in my district as a pilot. And I also see some of the champions that are fighting for figuring out our tree canopy. So thank you for your work as well. And also, you know, I was actually at another high school where they were featuring the student clubs. And I made sure that I told those who are into robotics and leading STEAM and STEM, think about the city of Los Angeles when you're, you know, ready to pick your career. But it's the work that you do that I think is going to really guide them and inspire them to seek careers here. So thank you again for all that you do, and happy week.
Happy week.
Thank you. Councilmember Blumenfield, followed by Councilmember Soto Martinez.
Great, thank you. While everything may have been said, not everyone has said everything. So, or not everyone has said it. So,
see what happens when she tries
let me
to
just
speak
say,
from her
first,
heart or head.
congratulations,
She's
happy
lost.
Public Works Week.
She needs to
But,
write
you know,
everything
more
down.
importantly, the city works because of Public Works. You guys are the ones who make it happen. When people judge
muff the
how the
landing,
city of
man.
Los Angeles is doing, they're really talking about the core work that you all do. And I'm extremely grateful. We have a wonderful Public Works Board, wonderful chair, great bureaus, and you guys make it work. Even during these tough times, this budget has been very tough because oftentimes when the money is tight, people, you know, the first temptation is to cut sort of the low-hanging fruit. And the low-hanging fruit is all of our projects.
You're low-hanging fruit,
and our
dude.
streets and, you know, our tree trimming
Your
from
fucking tie is
going
low-hanging
up to 17
fruit.
years and trying to
Clown
bring that
that
back
you
down
are
to a
from the
reasonable
circus.
time.
Look at that fucking tie, dude.
But you all figure out, whatever it is, how to make it work. And so hopefully as we move into this budget
Reminds me
day,
of
we're
like a
trying
clown
to
suit.
improve that a little bit
Fucking polka dots
to make your
everywhere.
job a little easier, but I know it's tough. But I also know that you guys don't complain, you just get
Worse
it
than a
done.
Michael
And that's
Bolton
one of the
concert.
amazing things about Public Works. So I will just end by saying
At least
thank
you
you
didn't
for
have to
making
pay for
Public
it.
Works, makes the city works. Thank you, thank
There's
you,
that.
thank you.
There is that.
Thank
Didn't have
you.
to pay for the parking and the
Councilmember Soto Martinez, followed by Councilmember
$12
McCosker.
water.
Well, first of all, thank you, Councilmember Lee, for bringing everyone here. A lot of it's been said, so I don't want to repeat a lot of the words, but please
Happy week,
send our thanks
I'll
to
use that
the
from now on
thousands of
for you
workers
guys.
that are
Happy
out there
week.
every single day. Those are the folks that are
I don't
often
like
made
it. It's growing
invisible.
on me.
We don't know all their names, you know, and the city doesn't know who they are, but please send our thanks to all those folks. And for the folks here who are in leadership roles, I know it's hard to wake up every day and inspire that department to push your folks to do the best, balancing pushing them too hard but not hard enough. That's all hard, and as executives and leadership, I just want to
I don't know
acknowledge
about
that
that,
work, 'cause
Stephen A.
it is a lot.
Have you looked
right?
at
We have
what
a
some
team
of
about
these
30
college
folks on
graduate
our
kids are
staff,
doing on the
but
street
we
and
have
they don't even
hundreds,
know
you
what
have
3
thousands.
plus
So
3 plus
just want to
3
say
is?
thanks, and
3 times 3
yeah, if I
times
could
3.
throw like a huge pizza
Couldn't
party
name
for
one
every single worker,
continent.
I would do it. We can't.
You sure you
right?
wanna
But
rush
I
to
just want
that?
to say, please, thanks so much again for all the work you do.
What's his name? Flecka or something like that? You need to
Councilmember
watch some of his
McCosker, followed
videos
by
when he goes to
Councilmember De
Times
Leon.
Square and asks people, young kids, some of them
Thank you
college
so much,
graduates,
Councilmember Lee. Thank you for bringing in
simple questions that
these
you know from the
great
5th grade.
partners, these folks that make the city run.
What are the 2 countries that
I know
border
you're
the
here
United
as a
States,
leadership,
you're
and
like,
there's thousands and thousands of folks out
Puerto
there
Rico
working right
and
now.
Alaska.
And We
Yes.
call ourselves leadership,
That's
and there's
the best part.
thousands and
Every-
thousands of
every
folks we
time they
represent
answer,
out
it's
there.
just,
I just want
yes.
to say,
Oh my God, I got it right.
from the
I was
people we
guessing.
represent,
You did. You got it right.
if I ever get a good message, I wake up in the morning and I've got text messages and I've got emails. I so often, there's not a day goes by that somebody doesn't say,
Joker.
wow, Councilman McCosker, someone's out front cutting my tree, or the curb's getting done, or Bandini's getting done. You know, those things that I call you about all the time. And it's a system where when that stuff gets done, we get all the credit. I wouldn't have it any other way. You do the work, we get the credit. And I will say
Yes,
the opposite
Stephen,
is
I
true
agree.
too.
You don't need
I mean, folks
80-year-olds
are
in there
really
muttering
want
around.
their
I agree with that
services.
too.
Sidewalks, streets, curbs,
But I
gutters.
wouldn't be so
I mean,
quick to
my
rush to
mom
the
just
youth.
wants to be able to
There's
get
not
from
that
her
many
front
that are
door
super bright anymore.
across the sidewalk
Very
to the
small
curb,
amount.
get to the bus, get to the
Minute.
services, use the services. And it's vitally important. And we are constantly in conversations where folks want more of
I'm not
that.
saying all of them are
And
that
it
way.
can be frustrating
Certainly
for
that's
us.
not true.
It can be frustrating for you when we call.
But,
But it only means it's important.
The general public of the
It is
youth
vitally important
pretty fucking dumb
to have this beautiful city of Los Angeles. And without you, we wouldn't be here. So thank you so much for all you do this week and every week.
I think you should all just get on your
Thank
knees
you.
and let
Councilmember
everybody
De Leon, followed
either
by
mushroom
Councilmember Ramos.
stamp you or
Thank you
pick-
much.
squirt in your
John, thank you
face.
much for
One of the
bringing
two.
the Public
Whole-
Works
whole
family
line.
together. I know that John Weimer, as well as Ted Allen, Keith Mose, and Barbara Romero from LA Sands, we've worked with you. You worked so hard, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart to the commissioners, my brother, Mike Davis, where we served together up north, Aura,
That's true, Josh. That makes it
Susan,
even worse.
as well as
You're pushing
Teresa.
the only
Just
smart ones
yesterday,
away, right?
both Keith Mose and Teresa and I were
And it's
together
gonna
at
be like
Hollenbeck Park,
fucking
and
idiocracy.
we planted
So you smart, huh?
14 new trees. And that's
Okay,
14 out of
sir.
150 brand new trees that will be planted just in Hollenbeck Park alone. And I know that we were able to secure the dollars for the tree planting,
it's
but
gonna
also
be like,
to,
for real.
believe it or
Yo.
not, Hollenbeck Park is
We're so
easily
close.
over 100
So you
years
smart.
old in Bowl Heights. But perpendicular to 4th Street on St. Louis, first sidewalk ever, if you can believe that.
Bro, it's
in
like
the
watching
over
Tiffany
100-year
Henyard. How many
history
times are they
of
going to put up
Hollenbeck
the
Park.
same fucking 4
And
pictures?
to Keith Mose's
Like you
credit,
couldn't just
when
take
we secured
20,
the
30
dollars,
of them because you did
Keith
more
Mose's
than that one
operation
job or two?
went very quickly out there. And
It's
for that,
not-
I thank you very much. On Valley Boulevard, I should say Huntington Boulevard, over between Soto and Mission.
The Toop is looking full
Monterey,
today,
I should
Ian.
say, in El Sereno. Never had a sidewalk ever had a sidewalk. And they're out there. I remember the first time we did the groundbreaking ceremony,
All right, takes
and
one
that
block.
sidewalk is going to be opened up really, really soon. Never had a sidewalk. Folks were walking on dirt, or quite frankly, they're walking right on the streets. And that's what you do every single day.
We
With
do
the
that
budget,
every day thanks to
crunch,
homeless encampments that you
obviously
assholes
do a
don't
lot
clean
more
up.
with a lot less.
So
But
yes,
we
we
appreciate
still do
each
that
and
every
one
day
of
in
you.
every city
Ted Allen, obviously,
around the entire
your
LA
engineering,
County.
thank
Yeah,
you
yeah,
for
yeah,
accelerating
yeah.
things
That's
for
still
us
happening today
in
there,
many different
Kevin.
ways, especially when it comes to interim housing,
see
for
kids,
folks.
women
You
in
move very
strollers,
quickly because
picking
you
their kids
understand
up
the
from
crisis.
elementary
So
school,
all
walking in the street in
family
the
here,
gutter
to
with
the
their
commissioners
kids,
and general managers,
hoping
or
to not
presidents
get
at LA
hit
Sands,
'cause of this
amazing.
fucking piece of
Thank you
shit
very much from the
vulture
bottom of my
living in
heart.
a
You guys
tent,
have done
smoking
phenomenal
crack,
work. And to all the
blocking the
rank and file
entire
members,
sidewalk.
we tip our hats off to them.
All you do is say, "Oh, poor little homeless,
Thank you.
homeless
Councilmember
houseless
Rahman,
guy."
followed by Councilmember Harris Dawson.
Thank you so much, and I echo everything that my colleagues have shared. And I really just want to say
Houndstooth
thank you
she's
to all
wearing?
of
No, that's
you,
not
and thank you to
houndstooth.
all of the workers who work with you. We see them out in the streets. We engage with them from our office on a regular basis. They are responsive. They are professional. And they are doing their
I don't know if
jobs
it's the
under very, very
disconnect,
difficult
Sunplanet.
circumstances
It's more
here in
of
the city of LA.
gaslighting. They want to
That
gaslight you,
actually
make
long
it seem
precedes this tough
their
budget
vision is
year.
working
So I
and
just
they're doing
wanna
everything they
express
can
my
and
gratitude
everything's
for all of
hunky-dory.
you and for your leadership.
the idiots believe
but
it.
also know that
Like
I think
Andrew
everything
Graydon, that
this
fool,
body has shared
telling you,
really
well,
should be conveyed
Metro's
to
really
every single
safe.
person
Well,
on your
funny enough
staff
as it is, there was a guy who was murdered
we
2
don't get a
days ago.
chance to engage with the
2
full
days after
bodies.
he
We
told
just
you
see
how
who's
safe
on
it
the
was.
streets and
the dude was
who's
an
doing the
immigrant.
work in our districts, and we are really, really grateful.
Shot
Thank
on
you,
the
and
bus.
thank you, Councilmember Lee, for acknowledging today.
Every day there's another stabbing, another
Thank
shooting,
you.
another
Councilmember Harris
beating on
Dawson.
either a train
Thank
or
you so
a bus.
much, Mr. Chair, and thank you,
Last
Mr.
night
Lee,
when we were
for,
on, we had a
bringing
bus
this
driver who got
presentation.
spit in the face,
You all
and
should
they're
be,
already
honored.
ready to
You
strike
have
because
a
they have no
supermajority
protection.
maybe a entirety of the council speaking, giving thanks
remember,
to
it's just
you for
'cause
the
you wanna
work
hire
that
a
you've
bunch of more
done.
cops.
I cannot express to
'Cause
you
we hate cops
the
so much,
emotion
right,
that people
Andrew Gravener?
express when they see one of those yellowish goldenrod trucks doing something, almost anything out on the street.
Hopefully
and
that's a little
for,
better. I
for
turned myself
residents, that means that their city is working on their behalf. And, you know, we try to get people to see that they're
Yeah,
the people
Christmas
you see in
tree
the truck or the
pickup
people you
in
see on the
July,
street, but
or
there are dozens of other
May or
people that you
June.
don't see sitting behind a computer or
If
doing
you still
drawings
have your
or
Christmas tree, May or
applying for permits and,
got a
and
bigger
the
problem.
works. For me, this is special
saying.
for, I want to give special thanks to the leadership, the Board of Public Works, and the workers
That's the picture of stock we're showing you guys.
our
Christmas
public
tree
works
pickup.
workers.
And you
all
notice
have
how
the
green the
highest
trees were, right?
usage of the
They
targeted
weren't
local
brown.
hire
They'd
program
obviously
of
be
any
brown
part of
if
the
they were
city.
in
So
May
I
or
thank you
June.
for that. Almost 400
Right?
people hired in our community from the hardest neighborhoods,
stock photos.
from the neighborhoods hit hardest by unemployment. So thank you for that. It's a big deal, and it's a big deal in a couple ways. You change the life of the person who gets a good job, but also you change that neighborhood.
You would, Ian.
Because suddenly there's someone in
He's
the
Edward
neighborhood
James
who works for
almost.
the city who knows how to access services and knows how things work. And so it's really lifting up entire neighborhoods, and I thank you on behalf of the entire city, but especially the residents of the 8th District.
Well, Mr. Lee, I'm so glad that you could organize this presentation, especially on this day, because I think as we're considering the city's
mic as
budget
well.
and all of the immense responsibilities that city government has, it's important for the council, for the public, for folks at home who are watching this meeting, to remember the primary
Is it
importance
echoing now? 'Cause I turned it
of
up
the Board of
on
Public
his
Works
side.
and the
Let me know.
employees that do the work of maintaining and building our public works. This is a department that is charged with
No, I go,
protecting the
okay, good.
public's safety,
Good, okay.
the public's mobility, the public's health, the cleanliness of our neighborhoods, our protection of the environment locally and globally, and really no department impacts the
get a
quality
hold
of life in the city more than the Department of Public Works and its bureaus. And people
There's the little guy
need to
sleeping like a little
recognize,
baby.
you know, in this time of national antipathy towards government, that what government is not necessarily debating that happens in legislative halls. What government is the workers who show up every single day, on holidays, in the pouring rain, in the blazing sun, putting themselves, their own interests, their families' interests, even
what they get
sometimes their
paid
own
to do.
safety at risk,
Paul.
to be able to make sure that our public
They don't
works
like showing up,
work.
and they shouldn't
Because
take the
without
job.
the service of these bureaus, literally, the city could not function. We would shut down without the work that the professionals of the
ass
Department
licking
of
is
Public
getting
Works
deep over
do
here.
every single day.
bend over
So,
already.
as you've heard from all of us today, we're so incredibly grateful to all of you for your leadership, and to all the men and women who work for
they're
these
just doing their
bureaus
jobs,
to
right?
protect
That's
the
it.
city of
They're
Los
just doing their
Angeles
jobs.
each and every day. So thank you all very much. Councilmember Lee.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, colleagues, for recognizing the incredible work that the men and women standing behind me do every single day, but also recognizing the work of the thousands of individuals who are doing that work right at this very moment. Through all your comments, it's obviously that to me that you all understand that from the moment people leave their homes, the Public Works is touching their lives in some way, and it's truly about their quality of life, and
Yeah,
these
like
are
the
the people
pothole you
who
didn't
make that
fill.
happen. So on behalf
Or
of
the
the city,
manhole
just
cover
want
you
to
didn't replace. Right?
present
People had to call
our
a
annual
fucking literally
celebration
4
of the
months to
Public
get you to
Works
fix a
Department in
pothole.
honor of National Public
And then
Works
the
Week. So thank you
citizens
very
take
much.
care of it on
Thank
their
you to all
own
of you. Thank you
because
very
these
much.
assholes don't do it. And then you go and shut them down after the news says, "Hey, look, these people decided." Because that really happened this year. A man and a woman decided to fill the potholes on their street. I think it was in Compton, because these assholes wouldn't come out and fix anything. Then what did they do? They came out and gave them a cease and desist order to stop filling the potholes. Because they do so much great work at Public Works. Fuck out of here, man. This shit is just ass licking to the nth
All
degree.
right. Thank you very much. So
Compton, right,
as
Joe? See, you know I'm not
everyone
lying, Joe.
is
You heard
exiting,
about it.
Let's go ahead and
And that
move
was
next to the
legitimate. They
public
were
comment
so
section of our
tired-
meeting.
tired
So
of
I'd like to
calling,
ask the clerk
getting
and the city
nothing
attorney
done.
to please read in the
To no
instructions
avail.
for
They said,
public
you know
comment.
what? We're going to start doing it. They
As
went out and then
indicated
people
on the
started
agenda,
donating to
members of the
them,
public
saying,
wishing to offer
here's
public
so
comment
you
should
can buy
call
more asphalt or whatever.
669-254-5252
They were
and
doing
u-
it on their weekends, and then they told them to stop
and
doing
use
it.
meeting ID number 160-535-8466 and then press pound.
That's
Then
our
press
job.
pound again when prompted for participant
Can't
ID.
do it then.
Once admitted into the meeting, press *9 to request to speak. When it is your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press *6 to unmute.
That's a
Let me
legitimate
repeat.
story. You can look
Call
it up. Google search it yourself.
669-254-5252
Compton couple
and use
fills
meeting ID
potholes. I
number
guarantee it'll come up.
160-535-8466 and then press pound. Then press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press *9 to request to speak. When it is your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press *6 to unmute.
Okay. To people providing public comment, when it is your turn to speak, either at the podium or on the phone, you will have 1 minute for item number 1, which is the only item on today's agenda. We will tell you when your time is up. When speaking on item 1, you must be on topic, which of course is about the city's budget. If you are not on topic,
That's
or
3
if you
different
cannot
major
tell
news
whether you are
stations.
on topic, you will get 1 brief warning from me or the president. At that point, you need to get immediately and clearly on topic. If you do not do so, or if you again stray off topic, you
There
will
you go.
forfeit the rest of your speaking time, and we will move on
That
to the
is
next
real.
speaker.
That's not gaslighting.
Members of the public may also speak for up to 1 minute for general public comment. During general public comment, members of the public may speak to anything else in the city's subject matter jurisdiction. For members of the
Yeah, his hair
public
is
calling
looking
in,
funny today.
when it is your turn to speak, an automated message from Zoom will prompt you to press *6 to unmute yourself. If you do not do so, council staff will prompt you once more. At that point, you need to immediately unmute yourself, or unfortunately, you will forfeit your time and we will move on to the next speaker.
Fortunately.
And because of a brief time delay between the live meeting and the broadcast, 2 things are important. First, while waiting for your turn to speak, please keep an ear to the phone so you know in real time when it is your turn to press *6 to unmute. Second, if you're listening to this meeting on another device, please turn down the volume on that device immediately when it's your turn to speak.
Forgot.
Between feedback and the time delay, it will cause a great deal of confusion if you continue to listen to your other devices. And then if I could have the interpreter just make an announcement to everybody in the chambers. So for
Think he's due
anyone
for
who's
another haircut?
requiring a Spanish
No, you can't
language
cut too much
interpreter,
off that. You
please
need
make
some
sure
volume,
you
'cause
pause
that head
every
is
once in a
awfully
while
big. If you
to
cut
give our
it short,
interpreters
it's gonna look
time
even
to
bigger.
actually interpret what you're saying.
So he
We
needs the
will
helmet to
make
cover
sure to
most of
hold
it.
your time, so you are
It's
not
like Darth
penalized
Vader's
for
helmet.
using an interpreter.
Ok, a todas las personas del público que desean hacer su comentario en español van a tener 1 minuto para el asunto y 1 minuto para comentario público si lo desea. Por favor, cuando esté hablando tiene que hacer pausas para que las intérpretes podamos traducir. Y no se preocupe de que vayan a descontarle tiempo, pues se para el reloj, no se penaliza por el tiempo que se utiliza en la traducción. Muchas gracias.
Nobody that we know is calling from Los Angeles. I'm pretty sure Lobster
All right.
isn't from here.
Thank you so much for those instructions. Before we go to public comment, we have a very special presentation by Councilmember Park.
Oh, fuck. Didn't we already have a
Thank you,
special
Council
presentation?
President, and good morning, colleagues. Not only is it National Public Week's work and an incredible opportunity
day
to
is it?
thank the
Bagel
men
day?
and women who work so hard to make us
Corn
look
dog
good every
day.
day, but this week also marks the 50th anniversary of National EMS Week, which is an
National
incredible
EMS
opportunity for us to uplift the life-saving work that our firefighters, paramedics, and EMTs do every day and every night here in Los Angeles.
I thank them on
their
the daily,
best
so I don't have to
days,
thank them once a
our,
year.
EMTs and paramedics perform miracles, and
You got
on
too
their
many
worst
white ones up
days,
there.
They insert themselves
We need some
in the midst of
diversity.
tragedy with a level head and gentle hearts. So I want to thank all of our EMS personnel within the LA Fire Department, and I'm really proud to be joined here this morning by a number of our LAFD paramedics. We are here
When's
with
National Plumber Week?
LAFD Chief of
I don't
Staff
know.
Tyler Dixon, as well as leaders from our EMS Bureau, firefighter paramedics Joseph Franklin, Mario Gillen, Christopher McWhorter, and Eric Schmidt. And so on behalf of
that, you guys all get one O-Pee-Chee folder. Saving lives every fucking day. Here's your O-Pee-Chee folder. But how many people came in? The Koreans,
Thank you so much.
the
A big round of
Iranians,
applause.
The Armenians, they all came in and all got
Emergency
framed
service workers.
fucking stuff.
Thank you so much. All right, we
They give
will
them one O-Pee-Chee
begin our
folder
public
for
comment
10
by
of
calling
them.
a series of
Makes
names.
sense.
When your name is called, you'll line up
Goes to
in
show
the
you how much they
aisle.
love your work.
And you can come up in any order once your name has been called. Just indicate to us. I'm
Probably
sorry.
more than that, Dakini.
You'll indicate to
What a
us
sad-
what
look
your
right
name
there with
is,
an O-Pee-Chee
and
folder right
we only have one
Fucking
item
sad.
today, so it'll be budget. But before we do that, I want to call on Councilmember Hernandez.
So the
Thank you,
public
Council
works
President.
who barely
I
do
just wanna,
anything
give
around
my
here.
gratitude to
Get a
Councilmember
frame,
Park for
at
bringing
least
in our
one frame.
EMS, our paramedics here today.
They save
I
actually
visited,
save lives.
Not too long ago,
They got
the
an O-Pee-Chee
dispatching center,
folder.
just to
They're
reacquaint
white.
myself for the second time. And one of the chiefs there talked about how paramedic training was one of the hardest things that he had to go through as being a part of the Los Angeles Fire Department. So what y'all do is not easy. The training you do is not easy. Just very grateful for the things you do day in and day out for the city of Los Angeles. Thank you again,
Forced them
Councilmember
to
Park,
get
for bringing them and
vaccines,
recognizing
still
them. Thank
forcing
you.
them today to get
Thank you
vaccines.
so much,
They can't
Councilmember
work
Hutt.
if they don't have one.
Thank you
And
so
that's all
much,
they give 'em.
Mr. Chair, and
And
thank you,
save lives.
Councilmember Park.
That's what they give 'em.
for bringing
Makes
in our
sense.
heroes. This is who we call when we need help. When we call Mama, we call God, and then we call for our paramedics. So I just want to thank you for your hard work and acknowledge really what you mean to this city. Thank you so much.
That's why you weren't even fucking voted in. You were
All
another
right, thank you so
DEI
much.
hire they threw in there.
Councilwoman Park, anything to close?
At
least the other ones
hard
want a
work
seat.
that they do, and
You
truly
were
every
given
single
the
one
seat.
of the
Here you
members
go.
of our LAFD are angels in the city of Angels. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you all. All right, we'll go to public comment and we'll begin by calling names.
Adam Smith, Adelina Ordóñez, Alejandro Campillo, Anaí Cruz, Andrea Bocos, Ann Joe, Apolinar Mancia, Aaron Ravenhran.
Where's Taco Joe? I want to see him.
And so just as a reminder again, as the council president has said, you do not need to speak in the order in which your name was read off. Once you hear your name, please feel free to line up and go ahead and speak. And if you could please remind us of the name you signed up for before beginning. You all have 2 minutes. That's the 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. So
Here we
please
go,
begin.
ladies and gents.
Thank you. I signed up for both. Hello, my name is Anaí Cruz, and I'm the Coalition Coordinator for the Garment Workers Center. I'm here to urge the City Council to maintain funding for essential services and programs that support our garment workers and their families and the small businesses that make up the largest domestic apparel manufacturing hub in the United States. Cutting funding for these EWDD positions would be a setback for our community. We must retain all 12 EWDD positions slated for elimination to grow these programs and support our local economy and labor force. These positions are actually really crucial for fostering a fair and sustainable garment industry ecosystem in LA. I personally lead a coalition of business owners that includes brands, manufacturers, and designers who rely on the fashion ecosystem in this city. In order to keep these businesses thriving locally, they need support from LA to create opportunities for economic growth. Investing in EWD positions equates to supporting responsible, ethical garment keep going, right? Businesses and creating opportunities for workers to advance as leaders in their industry. For the past 6 months, actually, garment workers, local ethical businesses, property owners, and city departments have collaborated to reimagine the local garment manufacturing landscape. This task force actually aims to create a position dedicated to economic development and real estate help for businesses so that they can thrive in LA, a position dedicated to workforce development to support worker upskilling, and a work source and business source-centered pop-up in the fashion district to provide support to workers and businesses. So these positions are super vital for garment workers, garment businesses. If you go to the fashion district, you see a really thriving economy there, and we want to keep it here. So I urge the council to listen to our community and protect these vital EWDD jobs. Thank you so much.
And we want $50 an hour. Okay.
Good morning. First, my name's Adam Smith from LA Community Action Network and apparently Christopher Antonelli's brain, and on behalf of LA CAN and other community partners, we are submitting an urgent letter to this body regarding the 341-day overdue report back on 4118 that President Krikorian refuses to release. Councilmember Harris Dawson, can I actually get a minute to speak? I was just submitting a letter.
No.
Your time is running. This is general public comment because you're talking about the 4118.
You're not special.
So I have general public comment and... Okay. As enforcement of LA Municipal Code 4118 persists within Council District 14 and beyond, there is an escalating demand for the community, from the community for City Council President Paul Krikorian to disclose the city's 60-day report back regarding the cost and efficacy of LAMC 4118, now 341 days overdue.
So I'm going to need you to move on to the budget. I apologize. We have a lot of speakers today, so we have to be...
You don't have to apologize. It's not your fault.
Go ahead with item number one.
Okay, I will. On the budget, I'd like to say that as we see violent sanitation and LAPD sweeps increase across the city, it's incredibly shameful that this body continues to dump more and more of the general fund into this violence, while even your own reports, like the 4118 report back that's 341 days overdue today, continue to be hidden. The Department of Sanitation, for example, was recently found to be lying in federal court, doctoring documents regarding using city resources to throw away houseless people's belongings as part of ongoing litigation. Not one city council member has mentioned this since the LA Times story came out. Does a lead agency in so-called cleanups lying in federal court have any bearing on how this body thinks about allocating resources? Well, this question is of course rhetorical. It's worth asking why you aren't.
Hello, my name is Alejandro Campillo, and I would like to speak on item 1 and also general public comment.
Nice face diaper. CNR?
Good morning, council members. I'm Alejandro Campillo with the Koreatown Immigrant Workers Alliance. I want to speak to the ways in which Measure ULA is going to be the key way that we can address the syndrome of issues. My first thing I would like to direct is to Councilmember Soto Martinez. This morning, where I live in Filipino Town, there was the clearing of the encampment on Silver Lake and Temple, and when I spoke to residents there, one of the main concerns that they had is that with street sweeping and constantly moving, there's currently no way for folks to get into hotels. I spoke to one woman who unfortunately has been waiting for 2 years, and I think this speaks to how difficult it is to actually address homelessness when homelessness is increasing. The second piece of that puzzle and why this is all connected, I'm going to address to Councilmember Hutt, which is that on May 4th, we had nearly 300 community members from Koreatown who are predominantly monolingual Korean and Spanish speakers, and many of whom are elderly. And the number one reason why they came to the planning committee to try to help address the CHIP ordinance is because they are afraid of becoming homeless for fear of eviction. Eviction is the number one reason why people are becoming homeless. Self-eviction is the number one reason for eviction, and that is why Measure ULA funding needs to be allocated and backstopped to be able to be used. Currently, we have over $250 million that has been collected. We are in a deficit, and that's why we need to use this money now and backstop it, even though there's litigation. This is the main way we can actually address homelessness, actually address the housing crisis without actually causing taxpayer dollars on the poor. Thank you.
Nice diaper. Self-eviction, huh? I think that's the problem. Most of them don't want to leave.
Hi, my name is Andrea Vocos, and I'm a resident of CD13, and I'm here with United Way of Greater LA and Our Future LA in support of LA Forward's ask of an additional $4.5 million to the 2024-25 budget for unarmed crisis response services. This would account for $2.5 million to start centralizing dispatch for crisis services so people can actually access unarmed crisis response services through 911 operators, and also $2 million to evaluate all the current unarmed crisis response services. We've lost too many people experiencing crises at the hands of armed police response. Just this past week alone, we lost Yang Yang, a 40-year-old experiencing a bipolar episode, who was shot less than 10 seconds after police arrived. 10 seconds. This all too common happens with our unhoused and housing insecure siblings as well. The lack of funding can have violent and fatal consequences. With this in mind, I urge you, as our council member, to advocate for this relatively small adjustment to better our city. Thank you.
Another Democrat, yes. As soon as they got out of the car, 10 seconds later, a man had nothing in his hands, and I'm sure they shot him. That's what cops do.
Mi nombre
City of
es
39 million
Apolinar
people.
Mancilla. He trabajado
I'm
como
sorry, a state
trabajador
of 39 million
de
people.
costura
Come
en
on,
Los
get the
Ángeles
fuck outta here.
durante 30 años.
How many murders are there every day at the hands of police?
Here for the last 24 years.
Sorry, before you continue, can I ask both the interpreter and the speaker just to pull
Didn't
the
we watch
microphone a
two
little
videos
closer?
last week where a guy had a gun, the other one had a
Póngase
knife, and they
el
wouldn't
micrófono un poquito
refuse to
más
put it
cerca de
down
usted
and
para que
ran?
pueda
Gracias.
seguir hablando.
That's why they shot him.
Estamos pidiendo
I'm sure you remember
que el
that.
concilio mantenga los puestos del Departamento de Desarrollo Económico
We are asking the council members to please keep the Department of Development open
para poder tener personal que apoye el programa de costura en industria de la moda que se está formando actualmente.
so we can have people working in the
They
sewing
are, Jean.
department in the
And Sharon.
fashion district that we are currently working there.
Mi experiencia en la costura es que necesitamos que la ciudad apoye a los costureros.
Right now, what my experience is that the people who have been working in the sewing business, we need you to support us.
Agradecemos a la oficina de Ulises Hernández
We want to thank the office of Ulises Hernandez
por ser un defensor de los trabajadores de la costura en el desarrollo de estas recomendaciones.
to have always been advocating for the workers in the sewing industry.
Necesitamos que los concejales escuchen a los trabajadores de la costura.
We are asking for all the council members to please support all the workers in the sewing industry
Y las pequeñas empresas y protejan estos puestos.
and in the small businesses and to protect all
Disgusting
these
part.
jobs.
Si se eliminan estas opciones, afectarían mi vida.
If these are eliminated, my life would be affected.
Porque haría más difícil para las empresas trabajar aquí y a mí me resultaría más difícil encontrar trabajo.
Because it would make the small businesses, companies, their job harder. And for me, it would be also very hard to be able to find a different kind of job.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Adelina Ordóñez. Vivo en el
Señora, un
sector
segundo.
1, en el distrito 1.
Good morning. My name is Adelina Ordaz, and I live in District Number 1.
Este presupuesto no refleja de inversiones que necesitamos en mi comunidad.
This budget does not reflect the investments that we need in our community.
Yo veo la falta de inversión en que inviertan en la vivienda para las personas que viven en las calles.
What I see is a lack of investment for people who are currently living on the streets, and it needs to be an investment on housing.
Porque eso está creando mucha inseguridad como robos, basura.
Lots of trash.
Because this is causing a lot of insecurities such as theft and garbage.
Los niños y las familias tenemos que caminar en la calle donde pasan los carros.
And the children and the families have to walk on the streets where the cars are driving.
That's what I just said about 10
Por
minutes
eso
ago.
es importante que hoy inviertan en lo siguiente.
This is the reason why it's important for you guys to invest in the following.
En nombre de mi comunidad, les pedimos que inviertan el presupuesto en las necesidades mencionadas anteriormente.
On behalf of my community, we're asking you to please invest on the things and necessities previously mentioned.
Gracias.
Thank you.
My name is Ann Job, and I'm from Sylmar, and I'm here about the budget and to say thank you to the mayor and thank you to the city council for making homelessness such a huge part of your budget, because
Thank you
it's
for making
obviously
it
going
what
to
it is.
require a lot of attention from all of us. When I was in Van Nuys at your meeting, one of the things that I commented on was for the neighborhood councils to be called on and to work with you more closely to solve all these problems. We should be a team. And there are too many neighborhood councils who feel like that they are not a part of what you're doing here. And the more you use us, the easier your job will be and the better this city will be. Thank you.
Are the chicks with the crowns on? I don't know. One of them, Stacy Seguer Bollinger, to the left.
I did put a comment in the on the portal, and I made a copy, and I would like to be able to give you each a copy because I know it's
There's
hard
Mr. Spindler.
to read all those comments that are in the portal. So with your permission, I will give each of one of you that. Thank you.
List of speakers, please make your way to the side. Anchor Patel, Barbara
I like this
Capos,
guy, Anchor Patel. His name's
Bobby
Anchor.
Arias, Buffalo, Byron Jose, Carlos Savilla, Daniel Vigil Rodriguez,
Daniel Boone.
and Diamond Cruz.
A lot of Daniel, 2 Daniels. There's a sale on Daniels today. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like Prom Queen Day or something, or, you know.
And while we're waiting for the
Miss
next
America
speaker,
Day or
just to avoid any confusion,
Pageant Week
the reason why the timer's set to a minute is it's a minute for the item, and then there's, if you would like, an additional minute for general public
hair.
comment. Good morning. Go ahead.
No way.
Good morning. My name is Barbara Capos, and I am the Executive Director of the East Los Angeles Women's Center in support of the funding to bridge the gap of the VOCA funding for survivors of domestic and sexual violence and human trafficking. The East Los Angeles Women's Center operates an emergency shelter located at LA General Medical Center. However, we do not receive city funding, and our funding source is 100% VOCA funds. Half of our funding will be eliminated. Our shelter provides crisis support and shelter to the most vulnerable because of our location. We ask that our funds to cover the VOCA cuts also support existing domestic violence shelters in the city that will be impacted. Additionally, I want to emphasize that all rape crisis centers in the city will also lose almost half their funding. These agencies respond 24/7, providing advocacy and crisis support to sexual assault victims. The impact will be devastating. Thank you.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Wearing a leather jacket.
Good morning, Bobby Arias, representing Champions in Service. I see so many friends here. I would remind you that I started with Tom Bradley in 1988, so I'm a veterano here. But what I wanted to speak about, and so many of my friends, was really us continuing the grid money. One of the things that we've been challenged with is training our staff for other programs. But with the resources you guys have provided, it's allowed us, from a humanity perspective, to pay our people what they deserve. So it's a great thing to see them not having to live hand to mouth. The other thing that's important is that what it has allowed us to do. As I look around this chamber right here, so many of you I've worked with, from our senior dances for Valentine's Day, to our Dia de los Muertos events, to the where's Bob? Is Bob here, Bloomingfield? To the
he's out back
Veteran
smoking a
Parade
joint.
and all of those things. Now, I have 2 minutes, correct? Another minute? Great. So I just wanted to impress upon people that the grid has served a great purpose. We started with LA Stars, from LA Stars to LA Bridges, from LA Bridges to the grid. And I'm telling you that it's a wonderful thing to see our people flourish and really serve the unserved. Serve people that are used to being disappointed. If you come to my office in Pacoima, you will see a mural that shows people breaking the chains of oppression. And on that mural, it simply says, "Par aspera ad astra," through adversity to the stars. We have had the good fortune of helping people empower themselves and be contributing members of the Angelino world. Thank you. We appreciate your
Jose R.,
support.
it don't matter about any of the elderly folks and any of that. It doesn't matter that they help shape the country that we know. None of that matters. What matters is taking care of the homeless.
Good morning,
vultures,
City Council. My name is Byron Jose
bending the
with
knee
Represent
and doing
LA
everything they
Coalition
say.
and the Trans Latina Coalition. Before the year is over, we will have 2 new council members. And as we transition to a new leadership, we look forward to a budget process that is inclusive, that engages the voices of communities and centers care and resources for all Angelinos. Transgender, expansive, and intersex communities throughout the city call for a sustained and equitable investment, including an annual allocation for Represent LA program of $3 million, as well as the $4.5 million for non-first care responders, and as well as $3 million as part of a joint partnership with the county towards the $10 million allocation for transgender, expansive, and intersex communities. And yet the budget process is not done, and some of your terms are not done. This city council places the city in a current deficit. You cannot continue to allocate all of our monies to the failed Los Angeles Police Department. We ask you to fund care for our communities, not criminalization and surveillance. I will not be speaking in general public comment as a City 8 constituent and City of LA resident for the last 25 years. The city's proposed $12.8 billion budget includes $3.3 billion for the LAPD and other council discretionary funds that kowtows to the LA Police Protective League, that is the police union. There is currently $0 funding. There isn't even a line item in the current budget for transgender, expansive, and intersex communities. We ask the rest of the City Council to include and prioritize the voices of immigrants and transgender, expansive, and intersex communities, as well as traditionally marginalized and criminalized communities. Most of our community advocates and coalition members are still waiting to meet with the current council leadership and ask the rest of the City Council to join in funding care and resources for all Angelinos. The OGAR, with its loyalties to the LAPD, the developers, and special interests are on the way out. You will continue to get voted out or recall. Kevin, you can still resign. All of you can still leave. Thank you.
Is he wearing a cape? Oh no, it's a jacket.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Diamond Cruz, and I'm here on behalf of the Trans Latina Coalition as well as the Ally Coalition. I stand here today before you to advocate for implement of armed crisis response for our cherished LA City residents, with a particular emphasis on the transgender community. By allocating an additional $4.5 million to the crucial initiative, we can ensure a more inclusive and equitable approach to crisis response. This program will provide specialized training for the professionals in handling nonviolent crisis situations with a deep understanding of the unique challenges faced by our trans community. By prioritizing empathy, respect, and crucial competence, our unarmed crisis responders will foster an environment where individuals can feel safe and supported. Let's stand together, invest in a future where every resident, regardless of their gender identity, receives the care and assistance they deserve. Thank you and have a nice day.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Hello, council people. My name is Daniel Rodriguez. It's time for us to pave the way for a safer, more inclusive Los Angeles by funding the unarmed crisis response. Our city has an opportunity to lead the nation by investing in community safety programs that prioritize empowerment over criminalization. The the nonprofit organization that I work for, the Social Impact Center, rooted in San Fernando Valley, but serves communities county-wide. We serve BIPOC and LGBTQ+A individuals through stigma-free organizing and mutual aid, and we're on the front lines reshaping narratives and building bridges where the trust has been broken. We stand behind LA Forward and represent LA's initiative to allocate $6 million for the fiscal year. It's crucial to recognize that within Los Angeles' vast budget, this amount is less than 0.1%, a mere fraction of that has monumental impact. We urge the City of Los Angeles to allocate $6 million towards these vital initiatives. This investment represents a mere fraction. Thank you.
The fun Warren Nambla. Oh, it's too funny.
Hi.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Hi.
My name's Joanna. I'm an organizer and volunteer with Los Angeles Community Action Network and Street Watch LA. This week in Council District 14, our unhoused comrades saw another violent 4118 displacement operation that was also a simultaneous campaign event for Kevin DeLeon. We watched as the media live streamed a woman in mental health crisis on the corner of the street where he had brought camera crews zooming in on people moving around and in deep duress. We have testimonials from unhoused residents who were offered tiny sheds in his district far away from their community and then not followed up with. Folks who were so stressed and intimidated by the media spectacle that was brought upon them in the morning that they did not trust, and they were afraid to accept that shelter. And then Kevin has the gall to accuse us of not doing enough outreach, to accuse us of telling people to stay on the streets. When I give people rides to their housing, I talk to people about the options. That's why we ask about those. I've reversed an overdose on the corner where you told Caleb from LA Can to join you. I've reversed an overdose on that exact corner. How many people's names do you know in that neighborhood, Kevin, of El Pueblo? The people who you terrorized for years. And we've been working in that community far before you were even in office. How dare you? And you've wasted so much money while we wait for this 4118 fucking report that's over 300 days late. What is the cost? What is the efficacy? Y'all seem to still be employing it though, right? It doesn't really matter to you at the end of the day. And this woman said, I feel like it's very intimidating. I feel like they're treating us like dogs out here, and they're treating us like monkeys, and they're treating us like not in any human in a way. I feel, on my side, very disappointed in the organizations that are offering all of these services. They're telling them one thing and then guiding them another way. It's very confusing for everybody. Everybody feels lost and confused, and I have to mediate to them. Hey, you guys, relax your energies. Everything's going to be okay. And we're out there trying to help people understand what options they have.
Your time has expired.
I think what she should do is turn
Speaker,
around,
your time has
talk
expired.
to the
We
people
need you
that
to
she's
vacate the podium.
representing,
This is your first and only warning. You are now disrupting this meeting.
and say
We
that
have a
to
lot
them.
of people who would like to speak.
And tell them up. And she.
So
What an
everybody
idiot!
who's shouting
What
out,
a
I
fucking
do see
idiot!
the gentleman in the
Couldn't
gray
even-
vest and the black
That's
hat.
what I'm saying.
This is
Low
your
IQ.
only
She
warning.
figured out how to get
You
in,
need to
couldn't
cease
figure out how to get
singing.
out.
You are disrupting this meeting.
Mr.
All of
Smith,
this-
you've been warned. I'll ask the sergeant to remove Mr. Smith from the meeting.
She and everybody behind her should remember all that in November when they vote for
Mr.
them
Smith,
again.
you've been asked to leave the meeting. Please do so quietly. You continue to disrupt the meeting.
What a dumb fuck. Another low IQ Democrat.
So just to be clear for everybody who's here and who's listening on the phones, these disruptions take away from our ability to run this meeting and also from our ability to take public comment. So please hold your applause until after the public speakers are
No
done and
clapping
do not
unless
disrupt
it's
this meeting.
when we
Thank
say
you.
you can clap.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good morning. You can begin.
I'll take 1 minute to speak against the mayor's proposed budget, and I'll take another minute on general public comment.
Okay, and we can hear you just fine, so there's no need to
I feel like raising my voice because people just got escorted out for
do not
asking
disrupt
about
the-
transparency.
Sir, you are
What is
instructed to
being-
not raise your voice. We have interpreters who have headphones in. So if you do it
Tell
again,
him, Anchor.
you're going to
Does not make
forfeit your
sense.
speaking time.
Okay,
is your
reset
only
my
warning.
time
The
because
great
you've been
Indian
interrupting.
hope.
Reset my time to a minute.
We've
Come
been
on.
Because this
interrupting you
budget
because
does
you've
not
not
make
been
sense.
following the rules.
We continue to invest in the police instead of unarmed
This
response.
is your only warning. Do not raise your voice in the
Stop
microphone.
interrupting my 1 minute of public comment.
Sir, please stop his time. Please stop his time.
Thank you.
If you can just do a service to all of us and to the people doing translation who have earphones in their ears very close, if you could speak in a softer tone, we can all hear what you say and
No, you have been using your time. The chair has stopped your time as a bit of courtesy. You can begin again, but do not raise your voice. It hurts our interpreters' ears.
So the mayor's budget continues to take from the people to pay the police. Instead of investing in the city controller's office for accountability and transparency, where can we invest that money that pays for the next generation? We continue to invest in the police. Not that my man, Officer Duarte, doesn't do a good job, but the amount of money we are spending on the police is ridiculous. This budget does not make sense. So on general public comment, this farce of public interaction, public input. Come on, folks. I see all these people show up. They got energy. They have issues that they want to talk about.
Low energy.
Are you even listening? Some of you are. I appreciate that. You know, I always do. That is the power of the podium, the people's podium, where truth and people's stories ring out against the racism.
Sir, out of a courtesy, I'm going to ask you one more time. Please do not raise your voice. I confirm with the interpreters that it is actively hurting their ears.
When I say truth from this podium rings out against corruption and incompetence. You said my voice is too high. The farce of public comment, of engagement. Come on, we could do better. I am here because we can do better. We can aspire. We can engage our citizens through neighborhood councils. I've been a treasurer on that hamster wheel. This podium right here, speak from it from your heart. You get 2 minutes.
Bet you $100 you voted for some of them.
Before
Maybe not
the
all of them, but some of them, I
next
bet.
Speaker, I'd like to call a list of speakers.
I fucking bet.
Emilio
I'd be willing to
Vega,
bet $100 on it,
Carlos de
Anchor.
Leon, Ernesto Hidalgo, Irvin
Remember all that shit in November
Francisco
when you're in the
Tuzul,
ballot box.
General
Or the booth.
Doggone.
Getting ready to put it in the ballot box.
Aló, buenos días.
Good morning.
Mi nombre es Carlos Sarabia, vengo de parte
There's
del
Stacy.
grupo de Star Metro LA.
Good morning. My name is Carlos Arabia, and I come from the group from Metro LA.
Como parte de la comunidad del Distrito 1, pues estamos aquí para saludarlos y a la misma vez para comentar las necesidades que tenemos en nuestros distritos.
So here from representing District Number 1, we're here to greet you and also to express the needs that we have in our district.
Como personas que vivimos en los distritos tenemos las necesidades, creo que son generales en todos los distritos del condado de Los Ángeles. Por lo tanto, las palabras que nosotros decimos aquí lo hacemos en general para toda la ciudad, no solamente para mi distrito. Tenemos las necesidades muy
Okay, espera un
graves.
segundito, señor. So as I think that our needs are the same needs that the whole city, the whole county of Los Angeles. So our words are general words that represent the whole city. Continúe, señor, y haga pausas, por favor, para que yo pueda traducir.
Uno de los puntos a mencionar es que necesitamos más remoción de basura. Está inundada las calles de basura por todos lados, no solo en mi distrito, sino que en general está inundado.
One of the points that we need is like really to all the trash and the garbage. The whole city is flooded with trash, and we need to work on this removal of the trash in not only my district but the whole city.
Necesitamos también seguridad en las calles, más que todo en los buses, en los metros. Estamos viendo la inseguridad que tenemos últimamente. Ya no tenemos la confianza de usar los metros públicos por lo mismo.
Okay, and also we need some security in the streets, and also in the buses, and also in the metros. We feel so unsafe that we don't even want to use the metro anymore.
Bullshit. Andrew said it was
Tenemos
safe.
el otro problema es desechos en la calle. Creo que ese tema tendrían que comentarlo ustedes al respecto de la seguridad y la suciedad que hay como desechos de animales, hasta de humanos en las calles. Creo que ese es un problema que tenemos a nivel también.
And another big problem that we have is like there's feces in the streets, like not only from animals but also human. I think that you should talk about this and do something about it.
Otro tema a tratar es también el presupuesto que se aprueba para saneamiento ambiental. Creo que necesitamos más presupuesto para eso, para limpieza y saneamiento. Algo que nosotros necesitamos como comunidad, pues que esté limpio y seguro.
And yeah, I think that regarding the budget approved, we need more for like this, like cleaning, to make sure that the environment is clean and pure.
Necesitamos también saber con el presupuesto cuáles son las inversiones que están haciendo, en qué se está gastando el presupuesto. Supuestamente que para este año tenemos mucho dinero para invertir. Al próximo año necesitamos saber qué fue lo que se hizo con ese dinero.
And also regarding the budget, we need to know what kind of like investments you've made. How did you invest the money? Because I know that for this year there was a lot of money to be used, so we would like to know how was that money used.
Queremos que todos los representantes de nuestros distritos se pongan de acuerdo y trabajen en un proyecto unificado.
And we would like that all the representatives of our district like be in agreement. Se acabó el tiempo, señor.
Next speaker.
That needs to go. Why are we sitting in a town that burns feces?
El siguiente, por favor.
Why is that going on? Jason, you were at the ribbon cutting. Dubs was at the ribbon cutting. Ed Steve was at the ribbon cutting. Why are we in a town that burns dookie?
Good morning. Please begin.
Dookie burner here.
Hey, Kevin.
Smoke.
Good morning. I'm here to speak on item 1 on behalf of SECA, the California Environmental Justice Alliance.
Is he wearing a flight suit?
Item 2, general comment, I am reserving for myself as a constituent of Los Angeles City. And CD14, Kevin. In terms of the budget, we understand the clamp that mayor and the city are under, because what is obvious to us and the communities on the ground is that the large oil capitalist corporations are holding our budgets hostage. The solution is simple, and I think it's time we all looking at the simplest solution. Make polluters pay. Make the large corporations that are holding us hostage pay. Why does the city have to pay for their mess? Why does the city have to hold ourselves hostage to their electricity, okay? Make the polluters pay. It's that simple. There's an opportunity. There's two actual opportunities. Actually, I'm going to use my whole time for this one, because this one's important. Right now, we have hundreds of millions of dollars in nonprofits' hands from IRA funding and bill funding. There's a lack of organizing going on for middlemen to actually get this funding on the ground for projects like parks, cleaning, things like that, job creation. We need to harness that money. The state of California has resources to help us find those resources. We need to start harnessing those and organizing on the ground. The second thing, hydrogen. Hydrogen is the fuel of the century. And the industry wants to repeat the mistakes of LNG because that's the way they want it. But there's a way to do it properly. There's a way to do it right, where unions, we can create strong union jobs, strong union contracts, and get community members the money and reparations they deserve. There's a way to do it right. There's a way to fill our budgets, and this is what we need to do. So thank you very much. Kevin, I'll talk to you later. Hey, your soul is still worth saving. Not your job, but your soul. We'll talk.
Swear it looks like he's wearing a flight suit. Oh, it's just a big jacket.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carlos de Leon from El Centro de Pueblo. Just wanted to say we're in support, of course, of expanding on the GRID program and bringing more programming to the youth that we serve in Echo Park. We appreciate expanding on that, as well as bringing more jobs for the youth and giving them career pathing towards something better than what they're used to. And we appreciate you guys bringing more funding to us.
Okay. It's all about that money, baby.
Hello, my name is Dervin Aguilon, pastor of North Hill United Methodist Church, District 7. And I put my comment online yesterday, but I just want to emphasize that we need more police officers in our street. Last year I called 3 times, and what they did is they qualified my emergency, and I think they sent a police officer to our place only for emergency, it has a certain, we can call emergency. And I think we need to, or you need to start a program with the youth so youth can involve in a police career. Thank you.
Don't worry, they're already getting the migrants kids into it. Fucking shame. Turned away some applicants that were this close to actually getting
Good morning,
in
council
to
members.
bring in migrants
My name is
to do the
Francisco
job.
Sul.
All
I'm
by
original
design.
from Guatemala. I'm a member of the Garment Worker Center, and I'm a garment worker as well. Thank you for acknowledging the garment workers today. The garment workers actually and small business allies have been advocating for ensuring that garment factories have the necessary space for their business to succeed and ensure that workers can access jobs. Likewise, that manufacturers have educational resources so that they are more successful and comply with the laws. Promotion of the garment industry in Los Angeles. Support training for development of the workforce, including advanced techniques. Provide access to incentives connected to labor standards instead of encouraging wage exploitation. We need City Council to listen to garment workers and small business and protect jobs at the EWDD that we desperately needed to support this industry and us garment workers as well. Thank you.
Before the next speaker, I'd like to call a list of names. Gloria Miguel, Godfrey Plata, Gregorio Mancia, Hannah Cornfield, Isela Garcia, Isel Escobar, Irma Fabian, Emily Sarah Beecher.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Morning. Just here, general comment.
Right, here
just
we go.
to commend the mayor's program for housing the homeless. I'm one of the people that was housed. Yeah, I just wanted to say that she's doing a great job, and there's a lot more people being housed.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning, Ernesto Hidalgo. Last Tuesday, the LA Times cited two studies by Harvard, UC San Francisco, and Rutgers, which, as the Deputy City Attorney and BCA staff reported to council members at Friday's CREATE committee meeting, these studies found that a complaint-driven approach is inadequate and insufficient to effectively enforce labor standards, and that Black, Latinx, non-citizen, women, and elderly workers are disproportionately plagued by wage theft and workplace violations. Fortunately, council members McCosker and Soto Martinez are leading 3 council motions to explore how LA can catch up to other cities by implementing expanded and strategic enforcement. But unfortunately, these staff reports were published just days after the budget and left out of budget committee discussions. Hence, we're here today to ask that you please consider funding the supervisor and data analyst positions identified by BCA staff, as well as the Assistant City Attorney and DCA 3 identified by the City Attorney's Office, and preserve funding for all EWDD positions that sustain garment industry and vital industries in LA. Mayor Bass and this council wasted no time declaring an emergency that empowers the city to address homelessness, but successes have failed to stem the tide of newly unhoused Angelenos. According to Rutgers study, workers in LA who have been paid below minimum wage lost an average 20% of their wages owed, or as much as $4,000 a year. A recent study by UCSF requested by Governor Newsom identified loss of income, such as wage theft, as the #1 reason why leaseholders fall into homelessness. Sherry Tordorf, director of the LA County Housing Homelessness Initiative, estimated that without the inflow of new homeless Angelenos, we would solve homelessness in LA in about 3 years. During the 2020 pandemic, Congresswoman Bass expressed that the social uprising was not about disinvesting from public safety, but rather reinvesting in the community. And Father Greg Boyle has demonstrated that we can create systemic changes that reflect our values if we're willing to lead by example. Thank you.
Fucking joke.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Arun. I'm a constituent of CD13. Today I'm here with to represent LA Forward, a cohort of people who are pushing to ask an additional $4.5 million from the budget go to unarmed services. They're going to talk a little bit more of the details later on, but I want to talk about how, how our armed crisis response teams currently, face communities that are often at the brunt of these very officials. And I think it's really important to remember that most of the people who push for stronger armed officials are sitting behind cloistered neighborhoods, in communities that don't actually face the real brunt of many of the issues. And I think it's really important for unarmed crisis response to be highly prioritized. Thank you.
You want hall monitors. Got it. Don't the hall monitors just call the cops?
Good morning. Go ahead.
When they
Good
need
morning.
the job done?
Buenos días, mi nombre es Gloria. Yo soy una organizadora del Centro de Trabajadores de la Costura.
Good morning, my name is Gloria and I'm an organizer for the Center of Work Laborers of Sewing of the garment industry.
Yo fui costurera por 15 años y yo también pasé por la explotación, el robo de salario y el pago por piezas y siempre trabajé en el centro de Los Ángeles.
And I've been a worker, like a sewing worker for 15 years, and I also was a victim of exploitation and stealing from the salaries and paying only per piece in the city of Los Angeles.
Yo sé que lo que pasa a un costurero en esa industria, esa es la razón que estoy aquí con el Centro de Trabajadores de la Costura.
And I'm very aware of what happens here, happens with sewing laborers, because I'm a worker, so I'm here representing them.
En nombre de los miles de costureros, pido su apoyo para mantener los trabajos de la costura.
So in the name of thousands of workers of the sewing industry, I'm asking your support to keep this work.
En vez de matar esa industria, invierten en ella y promoverla para que hayan negocios, ¿verdad? Para que los negocios traigan sus trabajos aquí en Los Ángeles.
So instead of killing this industry, please invest in it, and so we can promote it, so they can bring more investments in that garment industry here in the city.
Quiero pedirle que mantengan los puestos del Departamento de Desarrollo Económico.
So I want to keep the positions of the Department of Financial Development.
Para que se introduzcan programas para crecer habilidades de costureros, para abrir oportunidades para crecer.
So programs can be introduced to grow the abilities of the sewing workers, so we can grow.
Para que sean contratados en empresas buenas que cumplan la ley.
So they can be hired for really good companies that abide by the law.
Por 6 meses hemos estado trabajando con la ciudad para que haga puestos dentro de la ciudad.
For 6 months we've been working with the city so they can open like positions in the city to support.
Para apoyar esta industria, para hacer la promoción y crecerla.
To support this industry and to promote it so it can grow.
Así que en nombre de los costureros les pidamos sus apoyos, todos los concejales, para que crezcan y no quiten los puestos del desarrollo económico.
So in the name of all the workers, we are requesting all the council members to please support us and to make sure that we develop this particular department.
Pues los costureros fueron esenciales para nosotros en esta pandemia, arriesgaron sus vidas, ellos hicieron nuestras mascarillas, las batas de los doctores.
So these workers were essential during the pandemic because they risked their life, because they were there working, doing the masks and also the robes, the clothing of the nurses and doctors.
Pues los costureros son unos trabajadores esenciales, inmigrantes, ellos también contribuyen en esta ciudad, así que es tiempo de reconocer sus trabajos y ya basta de estarlos ignorando.
So the workers of this industry, they're essential immigrants that are contributing to our city, so they should be recognized. It is time to stop ignoring them.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Gregorio Mancilla Flores. He trabajado en la costura durante 35 años y he venido a este lugar para pedirle a los concejales el apoyo. Estamos pidiendo que el concilio mantenga los puestos del Departamento de Desarrollo Económico.
Espérame un segundito. So yeah, we are requesting that the council please keep the positions of the economic department. And my name is Gregorio Mancilla Flores, and I've been working for 35 years. So I'm here to ask your support. Continúe, señor.
Para poder tener personal que apoye el programa de costura e industria de moda.
To have staff that can support the programs of garment industry and in the fashion industry.
Durante 6 meses hemos trabajado con la ciudad para crear recomendaciones.
So we've been working for 6 months together with the city to create like recommendations
para mejorar la industria.
To improve the industry.
Y estas recomendaciones dependen de los puestos de EUWUDD.
And these recommendations depends on the positions of the EUW, perdón señor, EUW, ¿qué más?
EWDD.
EWDD.
Los trabajadores de la costura y pequeños negocios aliados a nosotros han estado abogando.
So the seamstress workers and the little businesses have been advocating
para garantizar que los fabricantes de prendas de vestir
to warranty that manufacturers of garment
tengan el espacio necesario para que su negocio tenga éxito.
That they may have the necessary space so their business can succeed.
Agradecemos a la concejala Eunice Hernández.
And we want to say thank you to Council Member Eunice Hernández
por ser un defensor de los trabajadores,
for being an advocate for the workers
de la costura en el desarrollo de estas recomendaciones.
In the fashion garment, in the development of these recommendations.
Necesitamos que los concejales
Speaker, I believe
escuchen.
the clock reset too early, so you actually have an additional 30 seconds.
O tiene 30 segundos más, señor.
Gracias. Necesitamos que los concejales escuchen.
We need that the council members listen to us.
A los trabajadores de la costura.
To listen to the
de las pequeñas empresas
and the small businesses
que protejan los puestos
and to protect the positions
de la costura porque los necesitamos.
Of the seamstress because we do need them.
Gracias concejales por su apoyo, se los agradezco. Tengan buen día.
Thank you council members for your support. I am grateful and may you have a beautiful day.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning, City Council members. My name is Isela Garcia. I am a TPS beneficiary. I was born in El Salvador and immigrated to the United States and have been living in Los Angeles with my parents since I was 4 years old. I graduated from California State University, Los Angeles with a bachelor's in business administration. I am currently employed by a retail company and work in their headquarters office in the city. I want to thank the Budget and Finance Committee for supporting and including the program Represent LA in the city budget. Now we need the support of the whole City Council to approve a city budget that continues to keep funding Represent LA and reaffirm your commitment to the immigrant community of Los Angeles. As a community leader that advocates for the immigrant community with Carecen, I understand the importance of having champions support efforts that aid immigrant Angelenos. I urge you, be our champions, support immigrant Angelenos. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you.
Hello, my name is Hannah Cornfield. I work with Koreatown Immigrant Workers Alliance and I'm part of the United to House LA Coalition. And I am here, as everyone else, to speak on the budget. Currently, the proposed budget says that there's going to be a 5% increase or $152 million increase for the LAPD, and a 26% decrease in homeless prevention, and a 31% decrease in housing. This is unacceptable and seems like very counterintuitive to addressing the housing crisis. There also has been mention in past budget hearings that we need litigation to be resolved before we're able to spend the United to House LA funds. This also is very counterintuitive to addressing the housing problem. The litigation is not going to be resolved for at least 7 months. It'll probably go into 2025. Meanwhile, thousands more people are going to be continued to be swept by LAPD from the streets. Thousands more people are going to be killed from being homeless. Thousands more people are going to be evicted from their housing. And this is just going to be a cycle of trauma and a cycle of homelessness. And if we don't actually take seriously this housing crisis and actually invest our money into permanent affordable housing through the ULA budget, this is the largest fund for housing that the city has ever had. There's over $250 million that has been collected, and we're just holding it. I mean, what's the point in collecting the money if the city isn't spending it? This is a serious problem, and we can't wait for the litigation to be resolved. We need, within the ULA funds, we are able to invest in building more affordable housing that is permanent, in providing income assistance to seniors and people with disabilities. Anyway, we need this money desperately. Please, please spend the ULA funds.
Speaker, we need you to thank you.
She doesn't understand her party. It's their plan.
It's all part of the plan.
It's their depopulation
plan. I'm speaking to both public comment and agenda item number 1.
Working like a charm.
My name is Ilse Escobar. I'm an organizer at United Teachers Los Angeles. UTLA is also part of United to House LA Coalition. I'm part of the team at UTLA tasked with implementing our housing supports MOU side letter of our current collective bargaining agreement we have with the district. The reason why we fought for this in our negotiations is because the district has a confirmed number of at least 15,000 housing insecure students, with estimates from the county being more like 40,000. The housing insecurity has forced families out of LA, and it's a major contributing factor to declining enrollment in Los Angeles schools. We ask that City Council continue to be bold and stand up against the anti-democratic tactics of the California Business Roundtable it is using to stop the will of the voters and measure ULA. The mayor in the Blue Book has already allocated the two. Right?
Go ahead. General public comment.
Yeah, the mayor in the Blue Book has already allocated $400 million for the next fiscal year for Measure ULA. The COC, the Measure ULA Citizens Oversight Committee, has already voted to also have a spending plan around these $400 million. We asked City Council to do that in their fiscal budget. We know it's a tough time. The governor's budget is difficult for LA City and school districts. That's why Measure ULA is so important, because it's not beholden to to the California deficit. We have the money. Let's spend it. I know it's hard to think that we can overcome the hurdles of the lawsuit and the measure ballot, but we will. The landlord lobby does not have to rule this city. Let's tap the brakes on greed. Thank you so much.
Yeah, they're sitting there drawing interest off the money. Here's Stacy.
For the record, I'm Emily Sarah Beecher today. Okay, you already started my minute. Cool. So we're talking about the budget. The Department of Transportation GM makes just over $219,000. The Department of Water and Power GM has about a $750,000 salary and was awarded relocation bonus of $30,000 and a 6-month housing bonus $45,000. So $750K salary plus $75,000 just to move to take the job. Nithya, are you listening? Because this has to do with you. over $400,000 LAUSD superintendent salary. And then we have, of course, y'all's salary at around $213,000. Meanwhile, most city workers make below 50 grand. So when are we going to cut y'all's salaries? I'm a city worker. I can't even get a whistle to save my life in the crosswalk. And I work for the Department of Transportation, and they won't issue me a whistle. I had to buy my own, and it has saved my life many times, and I'm glad you think that's funny, Marquise. Well, I guess it would be nice if we could address the body. In LA, everybody is represented by you.
That's Wham,
Maybe
George
you
Michael
could
Faith.
listen when we speak. You only meet 3 times a week, and you want to cut that down to 1 or 2 before this idea becomes a motion. Before you throw our rights down on the floor,
I never
let's
get it.
reconsider this foolish notion that you're working too much, counsel. What we need from you is more, 'cause we never had faith. No, we never had faith. Nithya Raman is fake, fake, fake. We never had faith, the faith, the faith. Shout out to Smoke and Scan, Brock Stinks, my husband Christopher, the wonderful Ankur Patel, and fuck you, Kevin De Leon.
Thank you, Stace. 19-time Grammy Award winner. That was a good one, Stacey. I gotta say, right off the jump, I knew what it was for once. I love that video. Have you ever seen the video? Oh my God. Cindy Crawford in a bathtub, side titty. Oh my God.
And I live in District Number 1.
Cindy Crawford's the woman.
Nuestra ciudad está en una
I could
crisis
create
de
one on a
bienestar y
computer like Weird
necesidades
Science.
primarias.
Yeah.
Our city is
Yeah.
in a very big crisis and it's in need of a lot
Yeah,
of
Cindy Crawford
wellness services.
Es muy importante y necesario que nuestros representantes políticos tomen decisiones
You ain't seen
que
that video, I'm
favorezcan
trying
la
to tell you.
salud y seguridad
Watch it right now on a
pública
separate page.
efectiva.
You'd be like, God
It is very
damn, them
important
chicks
that
are
our
hot. It's all
politicians and our
supermodels. It's all the
representatives
Victoria's
are going
Secret
to make
fucking
the
supermodels and
decisions
shit.
on what really matters, for example, the health
Fucking
and,
hot
and
as
the
shit, that
safety.
video.
Hemos observado que el presupuesto público no refleja las necesidades de la comunidad.
What we have been noticing is the public budget does not reflect the true needs of our community.
Yeah, you see her in the bathtub.
Pedimos
all
que
hot and
revisen los
sweaty.
diferentes sistemas de salud, seguridad que ellos tienen.
We are asking you for you to review the different health systems and security systems that you guys have.
Ya que en la comunidad no se vive lo contrario.
Since in our community
am
we're
I
living
mistaken one
on
for
the
the other,
opposite.
Conga?
Pedimos y es urgente que
Oh,
se dé
Freedom
más
is the model video
inversión
you
en los
guys are- okay,
servicios
so
de
I
obras
made a mistake.
públicas
Sorry,
en
it's not the
general.
faith video, it's the freedom.
We're
I
asking
thought
you,
that
and
was
it's
the one she was
urgent,
singing.
that we're asking that you invest in public services.
That's the
Y
video
a la
you need to go
fecha
see.
ha afectado nuestro
Oh,
bienestar
boy.
y seguridad.
Which until now it has
tell you,
affected
it's
our
softcore
wellness
porn.
and our security.
Tomen decisiones seguras y la buena inversión del presupuesto
Surprised MTV
previene
got away with that.
situaciones negativas.
Please make
That
good
song has
decisions
to-
and
when
make
does that
good
song-
decisions
anybody know
and
when
make
that
sure
song was
that
made?
the
It's gotta
investments that
be
you're going to do, it's going
early
to
90s?
have a good and positive outcome.
Yeah, I'd say early
Thank you.
90s, like
Before the next
92.
speaker, I'd like to call a list of names. Jason Enright, Skip Townsend, Jessica Bermejo, Kevin Orange, Jessica Melendez, Jillian Burgos, Joanna
Mine
Swan,
deleted.
Joe Dolan.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Thank you. Godfrey Plata, he, him, Deputy Director at LA Forward. Council members, by now you've heard in multiple ways from community members uplifting LA Forward's ask of $4.5 million additional to unarmed crisis response services. We've sent budget letters to your offices, asked for and have had meetings with your teams, sent 248 emails across your offices thus far between the time this budget has gone through BFI until today, and we're joined outside this morning for a press conference with Councilmember Hernandez and President Pro Tem Harris Dawson. As a queer Filipino immigrant, I'm also so moved to be standing alongside Trans Latina Coalition and Rap LA, who have also been uplifting our ask, and we stand with them as well. Yesterday, the LAist reported that a third of PD shootings since 2017 involved a person in a mental health crisis. As someone has already mentioned, in my neighborhood of Koreatown just 2 weeks ago, in the CD5 portion of the neighborhood, a resident was shot and killed after experiencing auditory hallucinations, and instead of mental health responders that they called for, armed responders arrived instead, and now that neighbor is no longer with us. This is a story we are telling time and time again. lives lost with the solutions clear. Just $2.5 million will centralize these unarmed crisis response systems so that they become as easy to reach as 911. That's priority one. If you can find another $2 million, we can evaluate these services to make sure they're working because they are currently inconsistent across districts. Tomorrow you have an opportunity to revise, and we hope you vote to save people's lives. Take this up now, not later. And for community behind me, you can help us send more reminders to council offices at laforward.org/unarmed-response. $2.5 million plus $2 million is $4.5 million. Thank you.
Thank you for the math. Bro, this dude keeps changing the fucking camera every second.
Hola, muy buenos días. Mi nombre es Joanna Wallace y yo represento a la comunidad transgénero. Yo soy una chica trans latina inmigrante que vivo aquí en Los Ángeles.
Un segundo, señor. Hello, how are you? My name is Joanna Wallace, and I am part of the Latino transgender community here in Los Angeles.
Yo estoy aquí presente apoyando a la respuesta de la crisis demandada.
I am here before you to support the crisis before you.
Integral y accesible para los residentes de la ciudad de Los Ángeles.
For the accessible services for the city of Los Angeles.
Y quiero elevar la demanda de 4.5 millones de dólares adicionales al presupuesto del 2024 y 2025.
And I also want to support and ask you to do and approve the $4.5 billion on the budget for 2024-2025.
2.5 millones de dólares para comenzar a centralizar el despacho para las cuestiones de emergencia, servicios de crisis, para los servicios que puedan acceder a los servicios desarmados de respuestas a las crisis de 911.
The 2.5 will be assigned for the emergency crises and to be able to respond to emergency services calling 911.
También necesitamos que la ciudad invierta en cuidado y servicios para la comunidad transgénero.
And we are also asking that you invest for care and services for the transgender community.
Pedimos fondos para vivienda, cuidado médico, seguridad, servicios de salud mental para toda nuestra comunidad transgénero que vive aquí en Los Ángeles. Muchas gracias.
We're asking that you guys allocate funds for housing, security, mental health, and healthcare for the transgender community here in Los Angeles. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning, City Council. My name is Sarah Reyes, and I am a resident of Council District 13. I also want to echo what LA Forward and our folks are supporting in a comprehensive and accessible unarmed crisis response services for all residents in LA City, and wish to highlight as well the request for an additional $4.5 million in the 24-25 budget for these services. I want to say that our TGI, immigrant and all marginalized communities are frequently impacted by crises and trauma. And despite the resilience that characterizes our neighborhoods, responding to emergencies can be incredibly challenging when the responders are armed with guns and metal badges as well. We are requesting a total of $4.5 million to advance these initiatives. With this in mind, I urge you as our council members to advocate for this vital adjustment. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Jessica Melendez. I'm with Trust South LA and a member of the United to House LA Coalition. I'm here to strongly urge City Council to commit to allocating $407 million to fully fund all ULA programs, even with litigation pending. We understand that the city's budget is tight, which is reason enough to continue the preventative, cost-saving homelessness prevention and affordable housing programs funded by ULA. Any delay in utilizing the $250 million already raised by ULA or the additional $300 or $400 million projected to be raised by the end of this year would condemn even more Angelinos into homelessness and put further strain on city resources. It's important that the city commit themselves to honoring the renters and residents that voted for ULA and ultimately commit to resolving the crisis. Given where the state budget is at, Angelinos cannot wait until after litigation is over to pay overdue rent. Angelinos facing displacement cannot wait until after litigation to have their units stabilized. They cannot wait until after litigation is over to get legal representation for tenant harassment they are facing. They need ULA funding fully funded now. Thank you.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. I'm going to go feed old Stankies.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead.
My name is Skip Townsend. Hi, Rachel. My name is Skip Townsend, and I'm here to speak on item 1, which is the budget for the mayor's office, the grid, the intervention workers. Can I do this real quick? All the interventionists, can y'all please stand up? If you do intervention in LA, South LA, the Valley, wherever you at, San Pedro right here, we got, what's going on, Tim? How you doing? So we have all these individuals here that live off of these budgets. We feed our families, send our kids to school, pay for the brakes in our cars off this budget. What we're asking for is really simple. We just want the budget to pass early. We want to go through the red tape so that we don't have to eat oatmeal and drink faucet water. Can we pay our bills? We just want you guys to think about what happens when it takes 3 or 4 months to get the budget going. Hey, Heather, how you doing? I'm going to take a selfie if y'all don't mind. I got 1 minute left. They told me the guy over here did. But it's really simple. I'm coming to you guys as friends. I consider you all friends. That we just need the budget to get approved early so that we will be able to feed our families and continue doing the work. A good intervention worker, a trained intervention worker can save the city money. We are the ones who actually stop the homicides and the shootings before they happen. Kamani, could you take this picture for me? All right, thank you.
You should have taken a picture with Spindler. He's the biggest star in the room right now.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Orange, and I'm here to represent the great city of CD8. I want to speak on item 1, General Speaker.
Smoke.
General Speaker,
Bro,
yes.
how many
And
times
I want to reiterate what my partner just got up here. We want to approve this budget. In order for us to do the work we've been doing for the last 15 years, it seemed like when it's time for us to do the work, there's always the red tape. And so in order for us to prevent the yellow tape from showing up, we got to get past the red tape. And so my colleagues back here, I stand proud up here to speak with them in order for us to keep doing the work we're doing, because we're the ones standing in them pathways, helping the families, helping the mothers with the trauma that they've been endured for the last, 30 years in these communities. We done have well support from some of our councilmen and some of our councilwomen. We just want to continue to support, continue these relationships, and building our communities for staying safe and giving us the needs and the money that we need to keep this training going and building up other peacekeepers in our communities. I mean, it just seems like we have to come in here and start begging, but it's worth it when you can see a mother and her kids feeling safe going to school, coming home from school, because that's something that we practice is safe passage. And then we see the big thing that's going on in society, right, in our communities is the metro. And so we do lend our support in these areas with these metro land where people are feeling unsafe. And this is where intervention come in. So this money would help us hire other safe passage workers so we can help the people feel safe when they're getting on these buses and traveling through this wonderful city that we have. So thank you for letting me share this morning.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, City Council members. I would like to speak on item 1 and general public comment. My name is Jessica Bermejo on behalf of CARECEN, or the Central American Resource Center. We would like to thank the Budget and Finance Committee for confirming funding for the Day Labor Center program and Represent LA in the revised budget. Represent LA, formerly known as the Los Angeles Justice Fund, has kept hundreds of families together and is a vital safety net program for immigrant Angelinos and their families. Immigrant Angelinos contribute to the city in countless ways, not just economically, but by enriching our society, history, and culture. The city budget is an opportunity to recognize and honor such commitments and contributions. We look to the city budget to confirm the city's commitments to immigrants in Los Angeles. We call on the City Council to uphold these commitments by ensuring the Day Labor Center program and Represent LA remain funded, and by taking our considerations into account. Your support will continue to keep these families together, strengthen our community, and demonstrate that Los Angeles stands with its immigrant residents. Thank you for your consideration and for your ongoing efforts to support our vibrant and diverse community.
Yeah, I think dude's fucking with me. He's moving the cameras. Trying to get fancy, see? With the every angle's
Good morning,
every
go ahead.
shot's different.
Hello, council members. My name is Jason Enright. I'm a resident of CD2 North Hollywood. This time last year was the first time I ever made public comment at one of these budget meetings. And I've never really talked about why I'm so passionate about unarmed crisis response, but I'm the father to an autistic child, and he's very sweet, he's very brave and kind and curious, but he can get into fits, and he can lose his temper, and he's strong and he's big, and if people aren't trained to know how to de-escalate with him, things can go south. And one of my waking nightmares, things that keep me up at night in a cold sweat, is that someday a neighbor or someone would call 911 and we wouldn't have the people properly trained to de-escalate with him, and that he would end up dead. As a parent, it's a terrible thought to think that the people who you need to help you the most could hurt your child. I want to thank this council because you passed the UMCR pilot last year. You've expanded Circle, and you've been doing things to help us get these services. But there's a terrible bottleneck at dispatch right now. When you call for these things, it can take hours to get help out. And we're asking for a measly $2.5 million to fix these issues at dispatch. And I know it's a tight budget year, and everyone's asking you for something. But this could save lives. This could save my child's life in the future. So perhaps you can find the money somewhere. It's really important to us. Thank you.
Before the next speaker, I'd like to call a list of names: Joanna Wallace, Devon James, Joshua Erazo, Ricky Washington, Lauren Pireta, Lorena Cepeda, Luna de la Morte, Jason Ackerman, Lupita Martinez, and Maria Aguirre.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Hello, council members. My name is Jillian Burgos, and I'm on the NoHo Neighborhood Council. I'm a resident of District 2, and I'm speaking on my own behalf. In 2023, 336 people died from traffic violence. That was more people dying due to unsafe streets than homicides. Yet we are cutting down services that would make our streets safer for everyone. Also in 2023, more people were killed by U.S. law enforcement than in any other year in the past decade. In LA, there were 34 officer-involved shootings, and 12 of those 34 were people experiencing a mental health crisis. And 13 of those were people who were experiencing homelessness. In this next fiscal year, the city is estimated to pay out nearly $250 million in liability claims, a record high. Liability payouts are one of the main reasons that we find ourselves in this budget deficit. Nearly half of the city's $6.8 billion in unrestricted revenue is being given to LAPD. Literally a blank check of funds that will not be given back if unspent. To approve this would be defunding the people of the city and asking us to pay more for less in services. The current budget is not accounting for preventative services that our community has been begging for, services that save lives. There has been a decrease in funds for housing, homelessness, LAFD, and daily services. There has also been a decrease in the departments that actually save the city money, like our city controller's office. There's been a call for less reactive services and an overwhelming cry for unarmed crisis response. When someone is having a stroke, a heart attack, or going into anaphylactic shock, We send emergency services, not a cop. So when somebody is having a mental health crisis, we should be sending a trained team to take care of them, of a mental health therapist, an EMT, and a community advocate. Thank you so much for your time. I'm asking you to please fund our city. Take care.
Good afternoon. Joe Donlan with United House LA Coalition. The coalition is here to ask the council today to commit funding towards the ULA programs while the legal appeals process plays out. As you know, Measure ULA programs are designed to keep people housed and to expand our affordable housing options for Angelenos. During the budget hearings, there was a suggestion that the city would tap the brakes on ULA spending while litigation awaits resolution in the appeals court. Those conversations, however, did not have the benefit of some critical considerations, including the following. First, there was an assumption that the litigation challenging ULA, which we all agree we will win, would be resolved soon, perhaps sometime in the fall. Our understanding is that legal counsel has estimated that the court rulings are not expected before December of this year and likely not until sometime in 2025. So we may be talking about another 7, 10, or 12 months before any new funds flow into ULA programs beyond what was allocated last year. That would be far too long to wait for resources to be put into homelessness prevention and affordable housing amidst a housing crisis where thousands of households are formally and informally or illegally evicted each month in our city, many of whom become unhoused. There also was not consideration during the budget hearings of what the stalling of ULA investment would have on the looming proposition on the November ballot that we call the Taxpayer Deception Act, and that this city council has voted to oppose. That proposition was placed there by big billionaire and corporate interests who are seeking to destroy the city's and state's ability to raise critical revenue for public services. They are using a false narrative that ULA is failing despite the $250 million that has been raised already by Measure ULA, and despite the 11,000 Angelenos who have kept their housing thanks to ULA rental assistance, and despite the 800 new affordable homes supported by ULA funding. Skip ahead because of time, but so not only will ULA programs help address our housing crisis and therefore should be a priority to find room in the budget for a backstop, but investing in ULA programs will also help serve as an antidote against the harmful Taxpayer Deception Act. So we ask you to find a backstop for ULA funding.
Your time has expired.
Speaker, we don't give a fuck. Thank you. Vote again in November for us. Have a great day.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Lauren Paritra, and budgets expose a city's moral compass. So after a review of the incredibly dense materials in ours, I was disappointed yet unsurprised to see an increase of $152 million into an already corrupt, inflated, deadly police force, who year over year consume nearly half of our city's financial resources. This overspending comes at the expense of our most vulnerable communities, the unhoused and the housing insecure, with homelessness and the housing department being defunded by an alarming 26 and 31% respectively. And this budget is failing them so it can preserve ineffective and irresponsibly managed police services who, mind you, spend over $50 million a year flying helicopters around, with an audit revealing that most of the flight time is devoted to non-high priority events, like flying over a golf tournament and shuttles for a chili cookout. These community-funded joyrides are not only woefully inadequate use of taxpayer dollars, but they are gross displays of dire resources being pissed down upon Angelenos in a graft-ridden sky parade that only further perpetrates systems of oppression and inequality. And it's no surprise that the deliberate complexity of this budget also serves as a barrier designed to keep people out, as I've experienced firsthand just how difficult access to information can be by design, despite how integral this information is to our democracy. Listen, I love LA, and I believe in a more just and equitable future for Angelenos, which hinges on our ability to provide a less corrupt and more transparent and representative government that reflects our values in people over police and their playtime. Council members, I urge you to realign the city's proposed financial priorities and to invest more into housing and homelessness and less into police that terrorize them, so that way we can begin to truly reimagine public safety. And let me be clear, unlike Kevin DeLeon, who's probably in the bathroom, and who continues to stand after using deplorable and overtly anti-black language about another elected official's child, we need to actually listen to our community, and we need to act with integrity. I yield my time. Thank you.
He's probably in the fucking bathroom right now. I love it. I love it.
My name is Joshua. I signed up for both items.
Okay. Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Cool. So good afternoon, council members. My name is Joshua Erazo. I'm one of the organizers at the Cardesan Day Labor Center. At our center, we try to connect workers with employers, help them with wage theft, which I know other fellow citizens have talked about that today, and other services that are available to the community. I wanted to thank the Budget and Finance Committee for supporting and including Representative LA in the city budget, and for continuing to support the day labor program. These programs are of utmost importance as they help keep families united and help support day laborers, which most of the time are immigrants. Over 30% of our city's population belong to the immigrant community, and they are what make the city unique, and they are what make the city diverse. We urge the City Council to continue to support the day labor program, which directly assists immigrants on a daily basis. It also assists refugees and immigrants that are recently arrived as well. We ask for the city to solidify its support for Representative LA, and please prevent families from being broken apart any further due to our unjust system, and please do the right thing and support our immigrant Angelenos. Thank you.
Lupita Martinez, general public comment in item 1.
Okay. Good afternoon. Please begin.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm Lupita Martinez, regional policy advocate with Chirla and proud daughter of immigrant parents. At some point, I have heard all of you say, immigrants are welcome here. Immigrant Angelenos are essential. This budget does not reflect immigrants are welcome here. It does not prioritize our low-income, underrepresented communities. It does not prioritize our vulnerable Black and Brown communities. As my colleagues from LA Forward and Represent LA shared earlier in the press conference today, our demands, combined budgetary requests, make up less than 1.5% of the budget. Better needs to be done. Let us not forget immigrant Angelenos pay over $46 billion in local taxes. $46 billion. We must recognize the indispensable contributions of immigrant workers who contribute to the economy and who sustain the informal economy during the COVID-19 pandemic. We were deemed essential. You deemed us essential. We consistently demonstrate extraordinary resilience and economic power. And to overlook the contributions of immigrants is to undermine the very foundation of our community's economic and social fabric. Councilmember McCosker, I once recall you described the allocation of millions of dollars as fairy dust compared to the overall budget. Councilmember McCosker, please send some of that fairy dust our way.
Before the next speaker, I'd like to call a list of names.
A lot about fairies.
Raymond Regalado, Nancy Sanchez, Maya Chapman, and Marta Morales.
Good afternoon. Please begin.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, President Pro Tem. Good afternoon, Council. My name is Ricky Washington. I'm a crisis intervention worker here at Chapter 2. Been so for like 4 years now. I'm here this morning to speak on the issue of item 1. I want to ask this council to please cut through the red tape and fund us and fund our families while we do this work out here in the city that we love. You would much rather for a person like me and my team to be out in the streets doing the work that you require that we do to help to save this city from the multiple things that it goes through. So I'm just want to just come here and take this moment to say to this council, please fund us, do it now, cut the red tape so that we can have less yellow tape. Thank you.
That's right. Cut all that tape. Fucking.
Cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it.
Good afternoon. Please begin.
Good afternoon. My name is Davion. I'm an intervention worker at Chapter 2 Community Development and Gang Reduction Program. I'm here in support of the mayor's budget for GRID and its violence reduction strategies. As you all know, one homicide cost the city of Los Angeles over $1 million per occurrence. The men and women behind me are a major part of the 26% reduction in gang-related homicides that we see and highlight in our safety and progress in our great city of Los Angeles. I think it's imperative, as my colleagues have got up here and said as well, that we cut the red tape. Red tape leads to more yellow tape. Allow us to have a living wage. Allow us to be able to be funded in a timely fashion without having to wait for all the bureaucracy and all the other things to help get this job done on the streets. Myself, and as well as my team behind me, we are committed. I commit to you that I'll take my last breath doing this type of work. Give us the living wages, cut the red tape, and fund us immediately.
That's it. Cut it.
Cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it.
Good afternoon. Please
Good
begin.
afternoon, Council. My name is Jason Ackerman, veteran of the Neighborhood Council System and community advocate. I want to talk to you about the budget.
Oh, it's the Derby hat guy.
It is completely
Wasn't it
upside
Derby?
down.
What was it again?
It's completely upside down. You spent this morning congratulating
thank
the
you so
Department
much,
of Public
Rachel.
Works and for all of the good things they do, yet you are going to cut street lighting by $5.3 million. You're going to cut sanitation by $17.3 million. And you're going to cut street services when you have some of the worst streets by $30 million. That is ridiculous.
Not a paperboy hat.
We should be cutting
It's a blurgy
the
or something.
proposed operational budget changes
Something with a
and
B.
increases for the Los Angeles Police Department and funding all those departments that are getting cuts. That includes animal services, public accountability. I wonder why you guys are cutting public accountability in the controller's office. That's very strange. Nothing to hide, I'm sure. Workforce development, public works, aging, you know, the CAO. These are vital services that actually increase the safety and livability of our community. And instead of funding the things that actually make people's lives better, you are hiring more armed thugs to harass the poor and working class, black and brown and Asian people and indigenous people and trans people of this good city. These are not the right moves. You should be ashamed of yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. So it's called a trilby. That's the actual name of the hat. It's a trilby hat. Like they have a derby, a trilby, I guess. Quite a few others. A fedora, right?
Good afternoon. Please begin.
Style of hat.
Buenas tardes, concejales.
Good afternoon, council members.
Mi nombre es Lorena Cepeda, originaria de El Salvador y beneficiaria del TPS.
My name is Lorena Cepeda, originally from Salvador, and I'm a beneficiary of the TPS.
Llevo más de 30 años de vivir en Los Ángeles, California.
I've been living in Los Angeles, California for more than 30 years.
Not a trilby? What is it, Mr. Brewer?
Y hago abogacía con Carecen Los Ángeles.
And I want to advocate for Carecen from Los Angeles.
Como miembro de la comunidad,
as a member of the community,
yo me beneficio de los servicios legales proveídos en la ciudad.
I benefit from the legal services provided in the city.
Y estoy aquí para agradecer al Comité de Presupuesto y Finanzas
And I'm here to thank the Budget and Finance Committee
porque aprobaron cambios
Only because they don't have
al
much headroom.
presupuesto que incluye
for approving changes to the budget that include
financiamiento para programas de servicios legales.
funding for the legal service program.
Representa Los Ángeles.
Representa Los Ángeles.
La comunidad inmigrante de Los Ángeles
Los Angeles Immigrant Community
necesita su apoyo
Not a trilby, but a
y
hillbee.
necesitamos que el comité municipal
needs your support, and we need that the City Council
apruebe un presupuesto con financiamiento
to approve a
You guys are all over
budget
the
with
place. I
funding
fucking
for
love it. You guys make me laugh all the time.
para el programa Representa Los Ángeles.
for the program Representa Los
she's a good
Ángeles.
little laugh.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Bowler hat.
I want to find out what the definition of trillium is. What the fuck is trillium?
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Buenas tardes, concejales de la ciudad de Los Ángeles.
Good afternoon, council members of the City of Los Angeles.
Mi Mi nombre es Marta.
My name is Marta.
Soy tepeciana y,
I'm under TPS,
y tengo 28 años viviendo en Los Ángeles.
and I've been living in the city of Los Angeles for 28 years,
Trabajando y contribuyendo a la ciudad.
working and contributing to the city.
Agradezco a esta ciudad y este país por las oportunidades que me ha brindado.
I am grateful to the city and this country for the opportunities that they give me.
Thank you again, Rachel.
Estoy aquí
Hopefully
con
you'll have a better
ustedes
day.
para agradecer a la Comisión de Presupuestos y Finanzas
And I'm here to thank the Budget and Finance Committee
por los fondos para el programa Representa Los Ángeles.
for the funding for the program Representa Los Angeles.
Como Consejo Municipal de la Ciudad de Los Ángeles,
As the City Council of LA,
la comunidad tepeciana y los angelinos inmigrantes necesitamos su apoyo
the TPS community and the immigrant Angelinos, we need your support,
y que reafirmen su compromiso a nuestra comunidad.
and to reestablish your commitment with our community.
My fucking
Sigan
lightsaber.
apoyando a programas que benefician a la comunidad emigrante y a sus familias.
Please keep supporting our programs that help immigrant communities and their families.
Sigan la fundación de programas vitales para la comunidad emigrante y como representa Los Ángeles.
Please continue to fund programs, vital programs for the immigrant communities, such as Representa Los Angeles.
Muchas gracias por su tiempo.
Thank you very much for your time.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Thank you. Ray Regalado. And I'd like to start off by saying that I've been president of our local neighborhood council for the last 12 years. I'm with Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council. And I've had the opportunity to be able to actually look and feel, you know, everything that everyone is feeling today in support of this budget that we have in front of us. I've come to realize that in my previous life, in my previous career life, I was a community organizer. And as I got into my field of human rights work, I feel that there is a place for all of us to be at the table to determine what it is exactly what we want in the development of a very difficult budget. I am really happy to see that there is an emphasis on funding programs when it comes to homelessness, public safety, and the work for our communities through community services. These are the things that I think are extremely important, that we all have an opportunity to participate through our neighborhood council process, through our advocacy in our various nonprofits that are here today, and to be able to actually have a say as to what perhaps our current budget looks like and what our budget will look like in the future. I want to make sure that we don't lose sight of the fact that, and the budget reflects that you know, we do have a crisis with homelessness. We do have to remember that we have to make sure that our housing insecure communities, the fact that we have people who are living on the streets, are treated humanely and are given everything they need to be able to prosper in our communities.
Train them to fight.
I want to make sure that there is a clear path that on our efforts to keep our
Speaker, your time has expired.
Before the next speaker, I'd like to call a list of names. Maria Olivarias, Kenneth Bell, Mary Vanderlei, Maurice Reed, Milan Marsiglia, Mónica de los Santos, Natividad Rizzo, Ayantara Banjri, Patricia Rizzo.
Little bastard.
Good afternoon.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Nancy Flores Sanchez, CIW for Chapter 2. And I'm here just to ask for if you guys could please, you know, we need the budget on time. I'm a single mom of 3 kids, and it gets hard. And I serve my community, I love my community, I'm here for my community, I'm here to save lives. And I just ask you all to work together and to approve this budget, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. How everybody doing up there? All right. You know, well, my name is Maya Chapman. I'm a single mother of 6. I work for Chapter 2. I've been there for 3 years, and I live in Marquise's district. I'm here to ask you guys that why are we back here asking for something that was allocated to us already, that was already approved? We work strenuously to do this work.
You like to
we
get
work
banked out.
through our sleep. We work while we dropping our kids off at school. So why are we waiting so long? Why do we have to wait to get our money funded to us like this every year? It just doesn't make sense. We're working on consignment. So here it says September 10th last year, which is coming again. Along with my colleague Nancy, I have kids that have to go to school. So when it comes to doing back to school budget and doing all that, we already buying school clothes, so we have to wait to make sure we're going to be funded. That needs to stop. We need to cut it. We need to take care of us like we are taking care of our community. We can ask you for no more and for no less, but to do what's right and give us what's due to us and to our communities. Because with that budget, we're going to continue to do our job, whether we get the money on the 1st of July or the 1st of August. We're still going to show up. We're still going to be frontlining, and we're still have the same mission, but it's just going to be different people doing it. So we need y'all help to make this possible. And I'm not going to say please. I'm asking you to do it. Thank you.
Yeah, see, they're struggling. The lady just had 3 kids, single mother. This is a single mother of 6.
Good afternoon.
Kids.
Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Nayantara Banerjee, and I am the Workforce Development Manager for the Garment Workers Center. Today, I'm here to urge the City Council to maintain funding for essential services and programs that support our garment workers and their families and the small businesses that make up the largest domestic apparel manufacturing hub in the United States, accounting for 83% of the nation's cut and sew apparel sales. Garment workers here have on average 21 years of experience, and the industry has been here since the 1890s, but has been ignored by the city for decades, resulting in exploitation and wage theft that hurts Angelenos and costs the city a lot as well. There has been an effort to remedy this through a task force with EWDD, which unites garment workers and small businesses, property owners, and city departments to make recommendations for promoting the garment industry, attracting responsible businesses, and ensuring access to opportunities and resources as the city's priorities shift in the lead up to consecutive mega events. Supporting workforce development training, including advanced techniques and technologies, is also essential. Cutting funding for the EWDD positions would be a setback for our community. Instead, investing in these positions is a means of economic development that can help the city save money in the long run. By supporting responsible, ethical garment businesses and creating opportunities for workers to advance as leaders in their industry, we can build a stronger local economy. Our task force aims to create a position dedicated to economic development and real estate to help businesses thrive and stay in LA. A position dedicated to workforce development to support worker upskilling, a WorkSource and Business Source Center pop up in the Fashion District to provide support to workers and businesses. We must retain all 12 EWDD positions slated for elimination to grow these programs and support our local economy and labor force. These positions are crucial for fostering a fair and sustainable garment industry ecosystem here in Los Angeles. We also ask that you fund the supervisor and date adjust positions.
Your time has expired.
You look so shiny, Stacy.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
¿Aló? Buenas tardes a todos y gracias todavía por estar presente.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for being present still.
Yo soy un miembro del Garment Workers Center. Mi nombre es Vilma Santiago.
My name is Vilma Santiago, and I'm a member of the Garment Working Center, and
Soy de
I'm from
México
Mexico.
y he trabajado por más de 13 años la costura.
And I've been working for more than
Estoy
13
aquí.
years. Señora, ¿me puede parar, por favor, cuando estoy hablando
Hold
para
on,
hablar al mismo
just
tiempo?
1 second. So again, this is just a reminder for anybody, and if you could interpret for this, for anybody who needs a Spanish language interpreter, we do pause your time when the interpreter is speaking. So you are not penalized, and you'll get the same amount of time as everybody else in total. So if you could please pause, just so that we can hear what you're saying, we would appreciate it.
Sí,
Thank
por
you.
favor, si puede hacer pausas, habla un poquitito y se detiene para poder escucharla. No se le va a quitar el tiempo mientras que habla el intérprete.
Okay. Mi nombre es Vilma Santiago, soy un miembro del Garment Worker Center.
My name is Vilma Santiago, and I am a member of the Garment Center.
Soy de México
I am from Mexico,
y he trabajado por más de 13 años la costura.
and I've worked for more than 13 years as a seamstress.
Estamos aquí pidiendo que el concilio mantenga los puestos
We are here to ask the council members to keep the positions
del Departamento de Desarrollo Económico
of the Department of Economic Development
para poder tener personal que apoye el programa
so we can have staff to support the program
de costura e industria de la moda que están formando actualmente.
of the industry of fashion that is being built up right now.
Mi experiencia en la costura es que se necesita trabajadores.
My experience as a seamstress is that we do need more
Hemos sido-
workers,
Hemos sido ignorados,
and we've been ignored.
pero nosotros, a pesar de que hemos sido ignorados,
But even though we've been ignored,
vamos a seguir trabajando como lo hicimos en la pandemia.
we will continue to work the same way we did it during the pandemic.
Nosotros fuimos trabajadores como frente de guerra.
We were workers at the front of the war.
Fuimos los que estuvimos haciendo las máscaras,
We are the ones that were making the masks
batas para los hospitales,
and the garments for the hospitals.
así exponiendo primero nuestras vidas y la de nuestros familiares
In this way, exposing our lives, taking risks for our family too,
para poder salvar muchas vidas de nuestras comunidades.
so we can save many lives in our communities.
A pesar de que nos pagan una miseria en el salario,
Even though we are paid like so little in our salary,
están empujando nuestras fábricas y nuestros centros de trabajos
they are pushing our factories and our work centers
lo más lejos que se puedan.
the farther that's possible.
Nosotros no tenemos automóviles propios,
We don't even have our own cars.
tenemos que transportarnos en el autobús.
We need to take the bus.
I mean, it's
Ahora les estoy
right next to
pidiendo,
land.
estamos pidiendo aquí que
Can't go
hagan,
much
no
lower.
les estamos pidiendo nada que sea
have a problem.
fuera de extraterrestre, estamos pidiendo que esta industria ustedes le inviertan porque vimos que ahora en la pandemia
So what we are asking is nothing like alien or out there. We're just asking that you invest in this industry because we've seen during the pandemic
no existía una estructura en esta industria
there was not a structure established in this industry,
y desafortunadamente esta industria es el aporte de nosotros los inmigrantes que aportamos mucho a esta ciudad. Entonces agradecemos
so this industry actually was
a la
just
Conce Ulises
señora,
Hernández.
tiene que esperar un poquito. So this industry only was held on by us, but the immigrants in this city. So we want to say thank you to the councilwoman Eunice Hernandez.
Before the next speaker, I'd like to call a list of names. Peter Bernal, Lupe Rivera, Carlos Reina, Rigoberto Quintana, Santiago Puac, Sara Reyes, Ken Bell, Shoshana Bernstein,
Ted
and
Bell.
Sonja Verdugo.
of Beverly Hills.
Go ahead.
State
Thank you.
House.
My name is Kenneth Bell. I'm a CIW worker for Chapter 2. I'm actually here just to speak about the mayor's budget. It impacts my job. It impacts my life. It impacts all
We
the youth
wanna
that I
put our
work with in
meat
Los
in your
Angeles.
mouth.
I provide safe passage for a couple of schools in LA. It's something that I love doing. It brings my community back together. I come from like a real live gang area where it's probably most of these police up in here done came and arrested people. I watched this job change my community. I watched this job change me. I watched this job change people who look down on me. if this budget is approved for my job to continue going, not only will it save lives, it's actually going to continue to save me and everybody that's doing this work right here. I do know that last year, my job and my colleagues and this city right here helped reduce homicides by 26%. The impact of my job is only seen in data. It's not something that you get to see every day, but it's something that I live every day. I walk the streets every day to put out fires that save lives. I put out fires that save people from going to jail. I put out fires that just save people from getting hurt. And it's not something I do on my own. It's actually something that you guys do too. It's something that's called cooperative effort. I could not do this work by myself. It takes you guys too. I once heard from a philosopher that a hand has 5 fingers, and I'm only one of them. You guys represent another one, and I can't do this work without you guys. You guys are the helping hand that keeps this work going, and I'm here to ask that you guys help us. It's not about helping me. I don't care about going to the grocery store or driving a fancy car or wearing jewelry. I do care about the people who I help. You guys not helping me, you helping them. So please pass this budget so that we can continue to do this work. Thank you once again. My name is Ken Bell for Chapter 2.
Ted of Beverly Hills Steakhouse. Come on down.
Hi, my name is Mary and I live in CD 13. I work in homelessness services and I've witnessed many instances where people were in need of emergency care and crisis management. In these vital moments, when we requested help, we were only provided with the LAPD. LAPD was not able to adequately help the situation and the guest was left in crisis. I support the need for a comprehensive and accessible unarmed crisis response for the people across the city, and I want to uplift LA Forward and ask for an additional $4.5 million for the budget for better crisis response services. People are in need of help, and it's our job as a community to make sure we are, as a collective, we are taken care of. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Mónica de los Santos y estoy aquí para apoyar el presupuesto.
Good afternoon. My name is Mónica de los Santos and I am here to support the budget.
Pertenezco al Distrito 1 y al área de Koreatown.
I belong to District Number 1 and to Koreatown area.
Espero que no estén tan cansados de escuchar las mismas opiniones que tenemos aquí, ¿verdad?
I hope that you're not tired of hearing again and again the same opinions that we're bringing up here.
Siento que es repetitivo, pero es muy necesario.
I feel that it is repetitive, but it is so necessary.
Para mi comunidad y para todos los que vivimos en el área de Koreatown.
For my community and for all those that live in the area of Koreatown.
Ya es imposible vivir y transitar las calles por tanta basura que hay y estar respirando todos los días, pues tenemos que caminar en las calles.
It is almost impossible now to walk through the streets because there is so much garbage and we can't even breathe while we walk on the streets.
Sé que han estado escuchando esto, pero la verdad necesitamos limpieza en buses, en metros y calles.
I know that you've been hearing this over and over, but the truth is that we do need cleaning in the metros, in the buses, in the streets.
Eso es para mí una prioridad y estoy aquí representando y soy la voz de toda mi comunidad.
And this is for me a priority, so I am here represented and being the voice of my whole community.
Y estoy aquí para ser la voz y ser escuchada.
And I am the voice and I want to be listened.
Y que no hagan recortes presupuestales, pues que necesitamos esos presupuestos que sean apoyados.
And please do not cut off the budget because we need the budget to be approved.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Hi. My name is Barry Rosenthal from CD11. Tracy's not listening. CD11. I'm also on the Delray Neighborhood Council, but I'm here as a resident of CD11. You know, I'm a businessman, a filmmaker, and I gotta tell you, making a budget is really difficult. I applaud the council and everybody behind the council for doing a good job. sure, everybody wants their share. And I think that I'm a little disappointed in the lack of the cut in homelessness and public safety. But as I finesse into my second minute, I'd like the council to hear this. And I think, you know, when I was given a project from a client and they said, here's X amount of money, you can take the money, but you can be more creative with it. And I'm asking the council to really look at the creativity part of this and come up with ways, in other words, the metro safety thing. Air marshals, we put air marshals, we don't put them on every plane. We put them on select planes and different flights, but I know flying, there's probably an air marshal on my plane, so I behave. So I think the creative thinking is important. I also have looked at the statistics for the foster care system. No one seems to mention, I haven't heard it mentioned once here, but when you look at homelessness, 50% of homeless people came through the foster care system. Well, that's an amazing number, and we should be getting those people early so we don't get them in the end stage where it becomes really expensive. So I urge the creativity, and I'm sick of seeing $8,000 apartments constructed in our city. We don't need any more. We need affordable housing. Let's be creative. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Roberto Quintana, tengo 30 años de ser jornalero y pertenecer a Carecen.
Good afternoon, my name is Rigoberto Quintana and I have already 30 years being a day laborer and belong to Carecen, Day Labor Center.
Vengo a darle las gracias
I come here to say thank you
a la Comisión de Presupuestos y Finanzas
to the Budget and Finance Committee
para el programa que representa Los Ángeles
for the funds given to the program Represent Los Angeles.
En el nombre de todos los jornaleros
On behalf of all the day laborers
y de nuestras familias, les vuelvo a dar gracias.
and on behalf of our families too, we again want to say thank you.
Y les pido de favor
And I want to request as a favor,
que no los abandonen
please do not abandon us
y los protegen a la comunidad de inmigrantes jornalera.
and please protect the community of the day laborer workers and immigrants,
apoyando el servicio que estamos pidiendo de inmigración a través de lo que representa Los Ángeles.
by supporting the funds for the immigration services through Representa Los Angeles.
Ahora les pido al Consejo Municipal de la Ciudad de Los Ángeles
Now I want to ask the City Council of Los Angeles
que se comprometa
to commit
con la comunidad jornalera,
with the community of the day laborers,
aprobando el financiamiento del programa que representa Los Ángeles.
approving the funding for the Represent Los Angeles program.
Este dinero es una inversión
This money is an investment
en nuestra comunidad
in our community.
Angelina y en todos los inmigrantes y sus familias.
This money is an investment in our community of Angelinos, immigrants, and their families.
Les quiero dar gracias por su tiempo y que Dios les bendiga.
And I want to say thank you for your time and may God bless you.
Gracias.
Before the next speaker, I'd like to call a list of names: Stephanie Powell, Teodora Reyes, Tracy Porter, Amy Turk, Araceli Mejia, Barry Rosenthal, Camille Shekhan, Carlos Reina, and Martha Dempson.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Carlos Reyna. I'm here on behalf of Tobin Neighborhood Center. We are a nonprofit organization that we help out families and individuals in the city of San Pedro, Wilmington, Harbor City, and the Harbor Gateway. I am currently the Housing Stability Advisor. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Family Source Center, which is within the Community Investment Family Department. I wanted to share with you that this program has been beneficial to our community. I'm able to help out prevent homelessness in many families by providing rental arrears. In return, by helping with rental arrears, we're able to take families not onto the streets and keep them housed. By addressing rental arrears, we're also able to help out with financial stability and providing one-on-one financial coaching and helping the clients develop practical and attainable sustainable goals. In addition, equipping them with tools for financial independence. The Family Source Centers also offer a wide range of wraparound services, which includes providing access to public benefits, and we also offer free tax services. Lastly, please continue supporting the Family Source Center as been a vital part to continuing helping the community, especially with the homelessness, and making sure that they're able to keep their house. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Peter Bernal, and I am a community intervention worker from Harbor City with Toberman Neighborhood Center within Tim McOsker's CD15. I'm here today to highlight the continued need in my community for vital resources like GRID, just as important the workers and organizations that GRID partners with to do what we call the work. Within Harbor City and surrounding areas, inter-community violence has long been embedded in the culture and lives of its residents. No other resource has addressed and helped to curb this issue like GRID has. The GRID unit I'm so blessed to work with as a community intervention worker from every community in the Harbor area and South Harbor Gateway, which gives us a special and unique opportunity to work collaboratively on shared issues, especially Black and brown relationships. GRID has empowered each of us, giving us the means to shed our former selves and step into a new light as pillars of our communities, giving us the tools to combat violence and helplessness in our beloved communities, creating safe spaces for youth and families at schools, local parks, and throughout our neighborhoods, giving hope to the often hopeless. I'm proud to announce to the council that members of my GRID unit, who are here with me today, have done amazing peace work to obtain a ceasefire agreement between 4 rival communities in the Harbor area with no acts of recidivism between them in over 25 years, with daily attempts to bring the rest of our communities into this agreement. I pray this information is used to highlight the importance of GRID, community intervention, prevention, its workers, and organizations like Toberman tasked with the daunting job of violence interruption. I can personally say that GRID measures its workers not by their past, but by their capacity to care. And I pray that the council will do the same when considering the gang reduction and youth development budget. Thank you.
I need a Stinks bronze statue. Shit, we already got him. He's a statue all day anyways. Look at him. He's in loaf mode. Perfect loaf mode. Like, wow. So, yeah, he's still in loaf mode.
Go ahead.
Where's
Good?
Spindler?
Okay. Good morning. My name is Lupe Rivera, CEO for Toberman Neighborhood
Must be in the
Center, but
line.
I'm also a survivor of gun violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. I stand before you today to underscore the vital importance of GRID and the GRID program and the Family Source Centers, and to highlight how these initiatives complement each other in fostering a safer and more vibrant community. The GRID program plays a crucial role in addressing the root causes of gang involvement and violence by providing our community with essential resources, mentorship, and support needed to make positive life choices. The vision is to create healthy, peaceful, and thriving environments for all residents. However, this vision cannot be realized without our GRID department and CIWs who are on the front lines of this work, fostering a sense of belonging and purpose among our communities, a sense of purpose that is often stolen by a broken system. On the other hand, the Family Source Centers serve as an invaluable hub of support for our families. They offer critical services such as homeless prevention, addressing food insecurity, job training, and so much more to empower families to achieve economic stability and self-sufficiency. Together, GRID and FSC create a robust safety net that addresses both immediate needs and long-term goals. By supporting our youth and strengthening our families, these programs work hand in hand to break the cycle of poverty, homelessness, and violence that often plague our neighborhoods. They are not just services, they are lifelines that contribute to the overall being and safety of our community. Therefore, continued investment in and support for GRID and the Family Source Centers is essential. They are critical pillars that uphold the safety, stability, and prosperity of our city. I urge you to recognize their significance and ensure their sustained funding and growth. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephanie Pell. I'm here to speak on the budget and also a general public comment. I live in Hollywood. When I moved to the area almost a year ago, there were 5 encampments within a few blocks. Because of the Inside Safe program, those encampments are gone. Of course, a few tents have popped up now and again. They don't last long in these spots. I guarantee you, without the Inside Safe, those encampments would have grown. We need to invest more, not less, into these programs that help our unhoused neighbors. There are many vacant buildings in Hollywood and all over Los Angeles. There are even vacant lots. These are owned by people just sitting on them and allowing them to fall into disrepair. Why is that okay? Our homeless crisis is caused by folks not able to afford housing. Full stop. Yes, there are drug issues and mental illness, but if we want to solve the problem of people living on the streets, that solution is to help them get inside safe. 2 times in my life I was homeless, once when I was in high school and also in my 20s as a mother-to-be. I became unhoused because of domestic violence. The statistics are there. We are allowing our most vulnerable residents to fall through the cracks. The odds of becoming unhoused increase for those who are in foster care, victims of domestic violence, and plain old economics. Most of us are only a paycheck or 2 away from losing the roof over our heads. The best way to combat homelessness is to make sure people can stay in their homes. Creating affordable housing should be a priority. We have enough half-full luxury apartments in this city. I'm encouraged by this budget and the mayor's plan to address this issue. In Seattle, where I'm from, their solution to the crisis was to clean up encampments and force the unhoused people into other parts of the city. This solved nothing. We cannot ignore our unhoused neighbors, and I hope this problem goes away. We also can't solve this with a militarized LAPD. Our unhoused neighbors are a community within itself. They care for each other, and keeping them together and getting them inside safe is the only way to end this crisis once and for all. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
A lot of speakers.
Hello, my name is Michaela Buckley. Camille Schenken had to leave. I'm a nonprofit theater maker who lives in CD4, and thank you to the City Council for sitting here and listening to this budget conversation. Much of my career has been supported by funding from the Department of Cultural Affairs. The proposed $2.4 million budget cut to the Department of Cultural Affairs, coupled with the elimination of 24 vacant positions, undermines the critical role that the arts and culture play in fostering community and driving our regional economy. SMU Data Arts found that of the 947 metro areas, Los Angeles ranks #1 in arts provider per capita, but number 258 in government support. We often tout ourselves as the creative capital of the world, but fall short of bolstering that reputation with public funding. Investing in the arts programs is proven to increase empathy, civic participation, tax revenue, and high school graduation rates while decreasing crime and recidivism. Police do not prevent crime, but arts can. But the arts remain undervalued and disproportionately targeted for budget cuts. I urge you to restore DCA's funding and increase the salaries as needed account by $1 million to continue paying part-time staff operating city-owned spaces which serve as community hubs and drive social cohesion, economic growth, education, and cultural experiences. Thank you.
She seems like a hoot to be with.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. Long morning. So my name is Martha Dempson. I am the producing artistic director of a small theater company that has been working for 34 years in CD13, providing award-winning productions and other social services to our community. But I'm here today also as the board president of Theater Producers of Southern California. Are you guys listening? It's okay, but I just wonder. Let me just tell you a few things. I am the board president of Theater Producers of Southern California, which represents small theaters in Los Angeles, in the city of Los Angeles, and I'm here today on their behalf to speak for all of them, to ask you please to restore the money that has been proposed to be cut in the mayor's budget to the Department of Cultural Affairs, $2.4 million, and also the 24 jobs that are slated for elimination. Our community right now is facing a crisis. For 30 years, we have been underfunded. There have never been big increases, but time and again, funding has been cut, and if it hasn't been cut, it has stagnated, and inflation has done the rest. To shrink our ability to provide the critical social services that we need. Culture is important, arts are important, community is important. If they go away, we will struggle further. Our organizations right now are really struggling with the triple impacts of the pandemic, of the implementation of AB 5, and of inflation. Yet we still continue to fight to provide services to our beloved city. Most of our creative workers are one paycheck away from homelessness. But we are here now. We are starving, but we are not yet in famine. Please consider restoring the DCA's funding before we start to experience an exodus that no amount of money will be able to restore. Thank you very much.
What's happening now, and it's by design, so that way they can push their voters across the country and turn red states blue.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm here to speak for general public comment in item 1.
Look what's happening to Texas.
Hi, everyone.
Go
My
to
name is
Austin.
Teodora Reyes. I am a lifelong resident of the Northeast San Fernando Valley, and I am here with community members Daniel Molina and Diosi Reyes in support of Ali Ford's request for an additional $4.5 million in the 2024-2025 budget for unarmed crisis response services. I care deeply about this issue because we need our community members, especially our youth, to be introduced with a platform that is safe for them. I have an autistic 9-year-old nephew who is currently facing already being labeled as aggressive, and I fear for his safety as he gets older in a world where unarmed response isn't normalized. We need your support to support our youth here today and start the process now. Please make sure that you are able to support Ali Forward. You're not only supporting Ali Forward, are you supporting our current population of Angelinos today, but the future generations that are going to be serving our city council. Please, and thank you. I also wanted to add that I grew up in the Northeast San Fernando Valley, even commuting to high school and on public transit. I experienced way too many times in Sun Valley, in Pacoima, in the Northeast when we have unhoused neighbors who are facing mental health crises, community members facing mental health crises, and I witnessed PD doing very aggressive approaches in helping them. And we need folks who are properly trained to support them. Again, this is about our future generations. It's about our future generations witnessing public transit in a safe manner, who don't have parents who are working class with them all the time to go to school, yet witnessing PD and other needs of support not being properly introduced or normalized in our communities. Again, thank you. My name is Teodora. I'm with Ali Ford, and please support their budget request for $4 billion to be added. Thanks.
4.3 billion to be added, huh? Huh?
Sheesh.
She said billion million. I don't know. I think she meant million.
My
not
name is
billion.
Tracy Porter. I am a proud queer black woman, a second-generation Angelino, and a current resident of CD4. I'm here to co-sign with all of the speakers before me who are asking the council to fund vital services such as unarmed crisis response
Fedora.
and services for both the unhoused and to keep Angelinos like myself out of the eviction to homeless pipeline. Well, I'm really here again is not only because this is about the part where the political becomes personal. Excuse me. In October 2022, tapes were released exposing racist and anti-black and anti-queer comments made by former council members and the current council member of CD14.
De Leon.
While these comments were being made, I had, unbeknownst to myself and my family, my sister was dying on the street, literally died on the street of City Council District 14. We are still in mourning. We did not get a letter of condolences from anybody on this council. My sister was the victim of state-sanctioned neglect, period. But we're sitting here, or I am standing here, wondering where the money goes. Why is it that, and I'm about to get biblical, why is the righteous forsaken and we are going seeking for bread? Why do we constantly have to beg for money when we, the people, are the ones contributing to the tax dollars and the coffers of the city of Los Angeles?
Because you're on the Democrat plantation.
I implore you to think about the personal stories, because we could give you numbers, we could talk about stuff, but it's the personal, when the personal becomes the political. I thank you, and please fund supportive services for our people. Thank you.
Okay? When you wake up and realize it. Oh, here we go. Beauty queens, man. Let's get it.
I got a boner.
Good afternoon. Please
Good
begin.
Hopefully they're
afternoon.
not.
My name is Carlos Zaragoza. I represent El Salvador Foundation. We already have more than 23 years working with the city of Los Angeles, and we try to support our homeless, our seniors, and veterans, and all the people
Are they
that
trans queens?
is in
That's so
need here
funny.
in Los Angeles for the pandemic.
They done
We
got me.
distribute more than 5 million bags of food and groceries and clothing and shoes.
What does the sash
And
say?
now
Can you see?
we try to support as much we can to the community, to the immigrants community too.
See it.
And the reason why we are here is because we would like to request your support to be part of the budget of the city, because our demand is increasing every day, and we try to support as much we can to the
Should get a
community.
tiara like that.
We believe in partnership with all the community, and I believe that just working together, we will make in this Golden State a better place to work and live. And for our future program is going to be our forum of investment that we will support
Look at 'em back
this
there.
state with attracting more investments and to create more opportunities for our community. I would really appreciate it that your consideration and your support. Thank you so much.
Spindler's always having fun. Holy shit! Did this dude just roll up with eye candy?
Bless you. Thank you.
It was. He said, "Oh, let me just bring my two ladies with me with sashes and tiaras. They ain't gonna say nothing. They just gonna roll up here with me." What was that all about?
Smoke. Good afternoon. My name is Margarita Lopez Garcia. I come in from the beautiful city of North Hills. For say thank you very much for your hard and great job you do it here. And thank you very much to the councilwoman Imelda Padilla, who represent our city. I am coming here for the first item because, you know, a lot of homeless is in this city now.
Salvadorian
but I am
Charlie's
coming
Angels.
for say thank you to Karen Bass
Bosley.
too, because she touched the great
Charlie,
and
yeah.
wonderful heart for resolve this issue. Many homeless is on the programs, but many others is
Yeah,
not.
Vincent.
Sometimes when the kids walking with the mothers to drop on the school, sometimes the homeless affecting, and these homeless who is not on the programs. For this reason, I am coming here for encourage you, please, more budget for safety. Safety is concern to everybody. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon.
That's Sharon
I am,
Osborne?
talking about both the budget and making a public comment. My name is Linda Udine, co-founder and co-artistic director of Vive Brazil Dance Company. Over the past 27 years, we have had the opportunity to develop a vibrant Afro-Brazilian cultural presence in Los Angeles, and we are grantees of the Department of Cultural Affairs for the past 18 years. I'm a resident of City Council District 4, and presently we are offering programming in District 8, District 10, and we have also had programming in District 9. I am here today as part of our arts community to encourage the council members to find ways in which to evaluate how our arts organizations in our communities will be affected by the proposed budget cuts to the DCA. And at the same time, we want to support the mayor's proposed budget with thoughtful suggestions to collaborate and to develop sustainable pathways to our nonprofit arts sector. Our arts communities in Los Angeles, we are brilliant, ancestral, contemporary, recognized nationally and internationally, and are constantly looking for ways to become sustainable, to move forward in our already challenged economy. We thank you, City Council members, and to Mayor Bass for creating opportunities to share our concerns regarding the proposed budget. Good afternoon.
Before the next speaker, I'd like to call a list of names. Sarah Burke, Stacy Seguera Bollinger, Talia Lender,
Stacy getting up there twice.
Cristina Gutierrez, Daisy Gonzalez,
Your discretion is advised.
Dorsey Duhan, Elizabeth Betia, Ellen Evans, George Meyer, Jerry Clark, Jerry Jones, George Madera, Keith Anion.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
All items and general fucking comment. Yes, well, go ahead. You're going to tell Kevin off. Yes. You're doing a good job, Your Honor. Ew, I thought so. Ew. Yes, as you know, I'm a big supporter of the Kevin De Leon plan. The plan is to get all the shit off of the sidewalks and the streets so you can walk down Little Tokyo and have a bowl of rice without stepping on a pile of shit afterwards. Let's give him a hand. Oh, that's a good idea. Yes. On the other hand, you can travel down to 8th and Rampart and see what Unisys is allowing to happen. And you can travel along the other areas, including 7th and 8th and Alameda and Alvarado. So we need to clean up this fucking bullshit, people. Yes. Now for my general. We're not here to beg for money. We're not here to be critics. But the one thing we must say, and it can't be helped on television, good Lord, Tracy, that is one ugly dress. And we really need to improve on that. What about
Mr. Spindler, you have been advised before in previous meetings that you need to connect this to something that's within the city's subject matter jurisdiction. That is not. So you can continue, but you need to tie it to something that's within this city's subject matter jurisdiction.
I'm trying, Pumpkinhead, and you continue to run my goddamn fucking time.
You got to get back on the subject, Mr. Spindler.
You cocksuckers, council members don't listen to anybody anyway, so we're just trying to get to the important subjects. I believe a pay increase is needed for the female members of this council, as they just don't know how to address correctly. Terrible. But you know what? At least, Nithya, you have pretty hair today, so you're doing well.
This is not in the jurisdiction of the council. That's your time, Mr. Spindler. Please leave the podium.
I think he wants to bang out a few of them.
So
she's
before
like, how
the
do
next
I,
speaker begins,
you know,
just
go
as a
after
reminder
that?
to everybody on the phones and who's here, while general public comment is broad, it does need to be something that this city council has authority over. So, I'm sorry. Please begin.
Veronica Hani, speaking on item 1 and general comment. Good afternoon, members of the council. I'm Veronica Hani, Executive Director of Los Angeles Neighborhood Initiative, also known as LANI. LANI was established by the mayor's office after the civil unrest 30 years ago with a very clear mission: to address systemic challenges in city neighborhoods with a long history of being under-resourced. Although functioning as a close city partner, the mayor founded LANI as a nonprofit and not a city agency, precisely to function as a bridge between City Hall and Angelenos in underserved parts of the city who had been unheard for far too long. Our goals were to shrink that divide and expedite sorely needed and equity-focused capital projects, which is what we continue to do today. Over the last 30 years, LANI has planned and built dozens of needed capital improvements in 11 of our most underserved council districts. It's critical to note LANI's return on investment to the city. Lonnie has independently raised over $126 million in state and federal funding, bringing those infrastructure dollars to the city. That is $126 million that would have gone to other cities without Lonnie raising those dollars. Also, Lonnie helped pioneer an equity-centered community building approach to improving infrastructure, empowering Angelenos to help decide which projects serve their needs best. Because our work has always been rooted in equitable access to transit and active transportation, we've always had an allocation in the Prop C budget, which allows us to do the imperative pre-development work necessary for projects to become eligible for funding. Many of you know firsthand the impact of Lonnie's projects in your districts. Let me close by saying that Lonnie has been delivering these capital projects that lift up neighborhoods and are so important to your constituents. We want to continue that relationship, but are unable to do that without budget restoration. We respectfully request restoration.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. Item number 1 in general comment. My name is Jerry Clark. My wife and I live in and maintain a money pit of a house that was built in 1905. We live in the historic preservation zone of Angelino Heights. I'd like to express my support for Mayor Bass's proposed budget. I believe all in all, it's the right balance of funding for policing, homelessness, green space, and infrastructure. Please know, as our city fights against global warming, that trees are priceless assets that take a long time to mature. Not only must we plant thousands of trees now in the treeless parts of our city, but we have to care for and maintain them as well. I believe we do need more police in our mass transit system. At a forum with Mayor Bass, my wife and I met a city bus driver who just quit his job because he doesn't feel safe anymore. We've had 2 cars have their catalytic converters stolen right in front of our house within the span of a week. We can always do more, of course, but I believe the mayor is doing a fantastic job with her proposed budget. And I want to also thank Councilman Soto Martinez for maintaining Echo Park Lake. I thought he did a great job. I thought when that fence came down, but he made a believer out of me. I also want to thank Councilperson Hernandez for her bill addressing the problem of cashless businesses in the city. I want to also thank the Public Works and the EMS. I love to see our government at work. Thank you for my clean water and my sanitation. And thanks to the City Council in general for making Los Angeles roll along one day at a time. Thank you.
You pay them for that.
For the next speaker, I'd like to list some names. Leah Perez, Linda Udin, Lupe Rivera, Margarita Lopez Garcia, Maria Nembard, Mia, Micaela Buckley, Nancy Flores Sanchez, Pastor Rudy Trujillo, and Ricky
Might be a
Alives.
record number of people they
Good
let
afternoon.
talk.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon. I am Jerry Jones with the Greater Los Angeles Coalition on Homelessness. I am here to express our appreciation to the Budget Committee for including $6.5 million to restore the unexpected VOCA cuts, as well as $2 million in vital shelter services. Domestic violence survivors are a very specific group and a diverse and growing population of some 46,000 Angelenos whose only crime or sin or common bond is the fact that they are temporarily without housing and desperately and legitimately in need of help. Thank you.
Probably runs an organization that swindles money from them too. That's why you need to keep it going,
Good
man. We need to
afternoon.
keep
Go
this
ahead.
thing going.
My
Need
name is
my
Ellen Evans.
Tesla
I'm speaking
payment to come in.
on the budget and general public comment. Good afternoon, council members. I'm speaking on behalf of the Doheny Sunset Plaza Neighborhood Association, which represents 2,000 households in Council District 4, and I've come today to express support for the amended budget. We understand that difficult choices had to be made and that services provided in our neighborhood will suffer. We accept that. We will definitely complain about it, but we will accept it. We are grateful that we have a mayor we can trust to make the kinds of choices that will lead us to fiscal health, and we hope into a time when the city can provide exemplary municipal services and robust social programs that elevate all Angelenos. Thanks to council as well for their diligent work on the budget. Our neighborhood is especially appreciative of the additional funding allocated for home sharing enforcement. We would certainly welcome a greater allocation to what we feel should be a revenue neutral or revenue positive investment, which would put thousands of housing units back on the long-term market while materially improving public safety and quality of life in our neighborhood. Again, we support this budget and look forward to our mayor and council leading us into less difficult times. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. It is indeed quite a privilege and an honor to be within these hallowed halls and to have an opportunity to speak to you. I am an arts advocate and I wear several hats. I founded an organization called Make Music Los Angeles. I am an officer for the West Adams Neighborhood Council. I am vice chair for SLANC, the South Los Angeles Alliance of Neighborhood Councils. I'm also the chair for the 2024 Congress of Neighborhoods. But as an arts advocate, I would like to ask you to please consider the budget cuts for the Department of Cultural Affairs. And because of that, dealing with so many of the neighborhood councils and hearing about what goes on with, like, boots on the ground with kids, my feeling is that when you make these cuts, the communities that suffer the most are the ones that have the least. So I'd like to ask you to please reconsider what you're doing. We need the arts to protect our kids. They are the revolving doors of the criminal justice system. We have to stop that. Thank you.
Before the next speaker, I'd like to call out a list of names. Ricky Washington, Santi Rauda, Sara Reyes, Sunshine, Tamar Peña, Veronica Hani, Vicenta Martinez.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. This is for item 1 as well as general comment. Council members, my name is Keith Yanyan. I'm a vice president at St. Joseph Center. We're located in CD 11. We're also the lead agency for the coordinated entry system for families in service planning area 5. I'm here to express our deep appreciation to the Budget and Finance Committee for the $6.5 million inclusion in the budget to bridge the gap in Victims of Crime Act funding. With the number of people experiencing homelessness due to fleeing domestic violence increasing 54% in the past year, we know that the need for services, shelters, and housing for survivors is skyrocketing. This funding is an important step in ending homelessness for survivors. So on behalf of the mothers who made the impossible decision to flee their homes with their children to seek safety on the streets, thank you. Lastly, in my personal capacity as a victim of domestic violence in my childhood, I'd like to thank you on behalf of all of the children who don't have a voice to advocate on their own behalf. Thank you for your service.
Thank you so much. Just before our next speaker, I want to call on Mr. Lee for a special announcement.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Public Works Committee meeting that was originally scheduled for 1:30, if you're here for that meeting, unfortunately, we're going to have to push that to 2 o'clock right now. So thank you very much.
Yes.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm speaking on item number 1 in public comment. My name is George Meyer. I'm the treasurer of the Frank Lloyd Wright Building Conservancy. I'm here to speak on behalf of Hollyhock House, the city's Frank Lloyd Wright UNESCO World Heritage Site, in reference to the mayor's 24-25 proposed budget. The Conservancy organized the nomination that included Hollyhock House and is required to make status reports to the National Park Service and the World Heritage Committee. First, I thank the Mayor's Office and the CAO for preserving the position authority for the Arts Manager 1. However, it is the position of Arts Associates that the CLA has recommended deleting that is cause of concern. Hollyhock House currently does not meet the administrative eligibility requirement, having 2 vacant positions. It is the Conservancy's belief that reducing the staffing level at Hollyhock House will have a negative impact on the preservation of both the physical site and the program agenda. It is not unreasonable to foresee the World Heritage Committee ordering a status review to determine World Heritage List continuing eligibility. the Frank Lloyd Wright Building Conservancy urges the City Council to, at the very least, preserve both position authorities even if they remain unfunded in 24-25. Thank you.
Afternoon, go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Ricky Aviles. I am the Director of Policy and Advocacy at Arts for LA, and I wanted to start by thanking our community of advocates that sent over 4,000 letters across your offices to oppose the budget cuts for the Department of Cultural Affairs. I also want to thank the Budget and Finance Committee and the CLA for their recommendations, which include restoring and funding 11 of the 24 vacant positions that were proposed to be cut at DCA. This will help spaces like the Lankershim Arts Center and Barnsdall Art Park operate more effectively. We remain concerned, however, that a $2.4 million cut to the DCA will negatively impact critical services to arts nonprofits, and coupled with the devastating cut at the state level, we fear this may result in an exodus of arts organizations. I urge you to restore as much funding as you can to DCA's budget. As a city, we have to reimagine how we think about public safety and community care. And I also ask that you reauthorize the remaining 13 vacant positions, even if they initially go unfunded, because as you know, it's notoriously difficult to get positions approved. Finally, please consider increasing the salaries as needed account by $1 million to be offset by a corresponding decrease to Schedule 24. Now is not the time to divest from arts and culture and to strip away support from DCA as we approach the LA 28 Olympic Games, which requires a cultural Olympiad. We need to increase support. And finally, with my remaining time, I would like to just say, you've heard a couple times today folks asking if you're listening. I would just like to remind you, folks take time off of work to be here. They're losing out on money. They have to pay for parking. They are maybe coming between picking up their kids from school. So they're showing up to respect you and participate in the civic process. And I just ask that those of you who haven't paid attention the entire time, you turn your attention back to the public. Those of you who listened to the full time, thank you so much for your service, and I appreciate you.
It's true.
More money, more money. Good afternoon. I'm Maria Nemhard, Policy Advocate at the Genesee Center. On behalf of the clients we serve, thank you for listening to us, for really hearing us. During the past few weeks, we've rallied, we've called in, our CEO spoke to City Council at the City Council sessions and shared the impact that the loss of funds would have on survivors of domestic violence. Thank you for partnering with us to provide the comprehensive services that take a family from crisis to self-sufficiency, including permanent housing. Your incredible leadership should be a blueprint for others. Programs like Genesee Center look forward to a continued partnership to change the lives of survivors in our community. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for your time. I'm Pastor Rudy Trujillo from the Northeast San Fernando Valley. I did want to address the budget and also public comment. Well, right about now, it's a good time for a quesadilla with some asada and a little bit of extra cheese. I wanted to speak about the budget for the grid services that are so critical. Years ago, I was giving a ride to a youngster that, actually an older guy that told me the story, because I asked him, dude, why did you get that tattoo in the back of your head? And he had just got tattoo removal services. Come to find out that as a youngster, he's the guy that they would hand the gun to in the neighborhood because the older guys knew a youngster could get away with it a lot easier. When I asked him about that, he did say to me that as a youngster, he got that tattoo, but he had become reformed, changed his life, and he realized that it was a critical mistake after spending time in prison. These services are very important for those that will reintegrate back into our communities. These fundings help us to address the family generational curses of gangs and activity related to it. So I just encourage you to really focus and stick with that budget, not decrease the budget for our safety within the community, for the people we serve. Trust me, in the neighborhood, they hear about the good works and the opportunities that are afforded because of these budgets. Once again, thank you so much for this time. And I don't know if that means I'm out or I got one more minute.
Means you're out.
Thank you.
I hear you another minute of your rambling.
Good afternoon. My name is Larry Foundation, Executive Director, United Parents and Students. Originally, you called Tamar Pena, my colleague, but she had to leave and ceded her time
Fucking
to
Ben
me.
Franklin.
In addition to working with nearly 10,000 families in South and East Los Angeles, I also spent 5 years on the city's Affordable Housing Commission, and we had adopted plans in and around how to keep people housed and how to do production, and it was called the 3 Ps, and it was prevention, preservation, and production. I'm here to advocate on behalf of our organization for the restoration of funding for guaranteed basic income, what the city called Big Leap, what the county calls Breathe. We believe that guaranteed basic income is the single best tool the city can employ to actually prevent homelessness, where if there's a leak and you come home and you find water on the floor in your kitchen, you can mop it up, go turn on Netflix, come back. If there's a leak there, the water will be on the floor again. This is a way to turn down the spigot. What the 5 years on the commission told me is it's very difficult for us to outbuild this. For every unit we build, more people become unhoused rather than we can house at that pace. So we're here to ask that guaranteed basic income, the Big Leap program, Big Leap 2, if you will, be restored to the city budget, at least to keep it alive until financial times become better. Thanks very much.
I think this is the last one.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Muy buenas tardes, mi nombre es Vicenta
Then the
Martínez, vivo en
phone
Wesley
calls.
MacArthur Park.
Good afternoon. My name is Vicenta Martinez and I live in West MacArthur Park.
Estoy aquí en apoyo a que se
They've been on
apruebe el
hold for 3
GBI
hours and
porque esto
15 minutes.
representa una ayuda económica para todas aquellas personas de bajos ingresos.
I am here to request to be approved the GBI because that represents a help for all the people of low income.
Que han estado batallando para completar el pago de su renta y para mantener a su familia.
They've been struggling to complete the payment of the rent and to sustain their families.
La canasta básica y la renta han aumentado mucho y es muy difícil para las familias cubrir sus necesidades básicas.
The basic basket and the rent have raised a lot, so it is very difficult to cover even the basic needs for the families.
Por esta razón yo les pido que sean conscientes de la situación de miles de personas.
So that's why I ask you to be aware of the situation of these thousands of people.
Que se benefician del programa. Por favor, apoyen.
All these people that benefit from the program, so please support it.
Porque ustedes tienen en sus manos un mejor futuro para hombres, mujeres y niños que están siendo afectados por el alto costo de vida
Because
en
you
Los
have in your
Ángeles.
hands the future of women and men and children that are being affected because of the high livelihood here in Los Angeles.
Muchas gracias.
The high cost of life, sorry. And thank you very much.
Great translator.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
I guess it's, good afternoon. My name is Blinky Rodriguez. I'm with Champions in Service of the San Fernando Valley. It's been a long, long journey, you guys, if these walls could talk. I can recall being in these chambers all the way back in 1990 when one of my 5 sons was murdered through gun and gang violence. I think what's really important is that you understand the momentum that we have created in the city of LA. Chicago ain't got nothing on us. Man, we dropped 26%. You know what that really represents? How many lives, how many families, how many mothers that have howled like coyotes at the yellow tape when we show up there because we're first responders. And I'm talking about CIWs. I'm talking about the intervention work. My partner was up there earlier. He mentioned the Bridges program. Man, we were here when there was no money. Why? Because this is not a gig. This is not just a job. This is a calling. This is our heart and soul. This is what we give it up for. So please don't allow the committee to take this to the unappropriated balance account. Because momentum has started. Summer Night Lights is here. We're ramping up for it. It's going to start July the 2nd. It's here already. That program, man, saves lives, and it's part of the GRID program. We can't be delayed. Last year when this happened, we didn't get the funding released till September the 10th. That's a long time from July 2nd or July 1st. You guys know what we're dealing with here. Man, we're blessed in this city. We truly are blessed in this city. We bring resources to the contract. We leverage the dollars. We leverage them. We've been able to buy or pro bono 97 cemetery plots for mothers that didn't know how they were going to bury their kids, and then led them to victims of violent crime money. And our Latino community didn't even know there was victims of violent crime money. It's $12,500 now.
Speaker, your time has expired.
I'm the last guy here. I waited. I got up at 6 in the morning to be here, you guys.
Jesus. Waited till 6 in the
Time
morning.
has expired. We have to move on to the
Thank you so much, Mr. Rodriguez.
Say that.
Speaker, you're now disrupting this meeting. We need you to vacate this podium.
Get up
Thank
out
you.
of here.
All right, now we will go to phones. I believe we'll be on phones for 5 minutes.
5 minutes worth of phone calls, that's it.
First caller, please go ahead.
Jacked all
Can you hear
the
me?
people that were waiting.
Yes,
on
we
the
can
phone.
hear you. Go ahead. You have 2 minutes.
Yes, thank you for the item and for general public comment.
That's fist.
It's really despicable.
Stacey's, man.
This body, city council body, and you know what? Fuck all the negative remarks about the council. They know what they are. They're the lowest of the low. But the rest of us, we need to understand that this budget right here is more than a slap in the face. It's an ode to the disrespect and disdain that the city council and the mayor have for the city. There's a reason why they had us give comment last year more than once, and this year you have basically no chance to speak on the budget. It's not like everybody that called in gets to fucking speak on the budget. The person presiding just said 5 minutes on the phone. That's crazy. This is your only chance to talk on the budget if you get that chance. We're talking the state is investigating the city for the millions of dollars that supposedly went to homelessness. We never got a report back on 4118. It's been over 300 days. The council keeps putting together these weird paper mache versions of democracy that fall apart upon second fucking thought, never mind first glance. I mean, none of it stacks up to scrutiny. None of it. Oh, where's this money going? Oh, we don't know. Oh, sorry, too bad. Fuck yourself. That's pretty much our experience, and we're tired of this shit. The city is coming together. You hear? Even, bro, you hear Candido saying nice things about Andrew.
Bro.
Because we realize that we all have to come together. This is how we feel about different things to overthrow this bullshit city council government. They're throwing away all of our money. The budget is ridiculous. And they disrespect it because we see every year that they just move the money around later on. So what the fuck is the point of the budget? They're going to just move funds from here to there, here to there, here to there, regardless of how the fuck they said it was going to go the year prior. So what the fuck is the point of the budget? General public comment.
He's right.
Everybody needs to arm themselves. Los Angeles
Caller,
Valley
your
Gun
time
Club.
has expired.
As soon as he said everybody needs
Caller,
to arm
please go ahead.
themselves. Dumped him. Click. Got him.
Caller ending in 0240, please press *6 to unmute.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello, I guess I'll address the item first. I find it ridiculous that we want to increase the LAPD's budget after we've seen how they've brutalized Los Angeles' own students, our own children. This 6th Street Bridge, the lights have been off for over 5 months. What did the LAPD do to protect that bridge from criminals who stole copper? Nothing's changed. Instead, we want to decrease budget. We want to decrease sanitation, decrease essentially budget for city works when we should be putting more money into this in the first place. Hopefully you guys come to your senses and realize that this is not the way forward. Thank you.
Well, but if you had a better DA that actually prosecuted these
Caller,
people,
please go
then
ahead.
maybe you'd have a different result and people wouldn't be stealing the way they do.
Caller ending in 1964, please press *6 to unmute.
Hi.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Blinky, I'm sorry about your loss, but you must have been a bad father for your son to get killed in a gang violence.
This is
Anyway,
not in the
we're talking
jurisdiction
about
of this
theater today.
committee.
We're talking about theater.
That's
look,
lobster.
I'm a big fan of theater. especially performance arts, such as Paul Krikorian hates performance arts by the lobster, the lobster, the lobster, the lobster, the lobster, the lobster, the lobster. Lobster, lobster, lobster.
Speaker, this is your only warning. You need to stay on topic. You're not on topic for the agenda or general public comment at the moment. So please
Okay,
stay on
well,
topic.
okay, I'm going to do general public. I want a Red Lobster square on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You know why? Because we got claws, we got balls, we got everything that the Candido wants.
I like it.
All right, next caller.
Shit slaps.
Caller, please go ahead.
Sorry. All item, the budget item and general comment.
Under over 20.
All right. So speaking on the budget, I think you should hold the budget until you have a hearing until you have an opportunity. People's Budget LA has the opportunity to come and give a presentation before the council on the budget. You need to take more opportunities for public comment. I don't know if there's any opportunity tomorrow. I heard they were voting on it tomorrow, but yeah, you need to make sure you vote on. You need to have more public input, and the budget's terrible. More money to the LAPD while cutting other city services, all because of your self-created deficit that you created by giving too much money to the LAPD in the first place. And you're giving them more money while, punishing all the other departments. So you need to reject this budget. Let's hear a presentation from People's Budget LA Coalition, and then you can consider that budget. Because that's a budget created by the public. Really quickly on general public comment, I'd like to give my early farewell to the lame duck council president, Paul Krikorian. You should just step down earlier. No one likes you. You haven't done any actual reform. So why don't you just step down now?
17.
Caller is connected.
Under wins it.
Caller, please go ahead.
Under wins it. But just by a few.
Hi, I'm from Hugo's area in Hollywood, and I have a lot of issues with the budget. We're going to talk about the budget and then the general response to everything else going on. We need crisis response, the $4.5 million for crisis response. We don't need the pigs knocking down at people's doors when they are in crisis.
That's what you win.
Domestic violence, it's really messed up that they're so cold that women and other people are forced onto the streets in dangerous situations. We need to take care of those people. We need lights. We need potholes fixed. We need school lunches. We need all kinds of, the people need things to live that are not the cops. We don't, you guys are let's have a world where everything is just cops and there's no arts, there's no school. What do you guys, is this the world you envision? Is this really how you guys see the world? You guys are sick. I'm done. Thank you.
Is our last caller?
Caller, please go ahead.
This is the last caller? That sucks.
Sounds like the phone is broken. So with that, we will close public comment for in-person and via teleconference.
People was on the
And
line
Mr.
for
President,
3
just for the
hours
record,
plus
the sergeants
waiting
are
to talk, and
letting
now
me
just
know
didn't
that
get
they
to
believe it
talk
was
now.
Mr. Spindler who did that. So, Mr. Spindler, you are always at these meetings. You know the rules. You know you cannot disrupt this meeting. You've also been given an opportunity to speak in person. So this is your only warning. If you disrupt this meeting again, then you'll be subject to removal.
Of course, it was him. He calls up and then
All
he
right.
just rubs it on his belly. They
So
caught
we
him
have
before. Just caught him now.
satisfied in-person and teleconference public comment for the mayor's proposed budget for fiscal year 24 and 25. Before we recess this meeting, I want to call on our budget chair, Councilmember Blumenfield, to let us know what will happen next.
Yeah, apparently they don't. They need crisis.
President.
So
crisis counselors.
This meeting is not going to adjourn today. It's going to be
and
we're
hall
going to
monitors.
recess. We're going to continue this meeting tomorrow. Now that we've had a full day of public comment, and
you know what they're
everyone,
also not telling you
who has
is the
showed up in
most
person and
dangerous
has
call.
has been
More
heard.
cops are killed
And we
on
will go
domestic
through
violence
the
calls
budget changes that the budget
than
committee
anything,
put forward in
than
the report,
traffic stops,
page by
than
page, as we've done in
robberies,
previous years.
anything.
Members will be able to call
Okay?
items special.
Because people just lose their
to
shit
ask questions about them or to
during a
offer
domestic
motions.
dispute sometimes.
And then when we get through all of
Sorry,
it's a
Jason. Thank
quick
you so
question,
much
we can
for
answer right
the
then.
dono.
Otherwise,
Sorry you didn't get
we'll
in
go
there,
through
bud.
the document, calling special the items, and then we'll address each of the items that have been called special.
Appreciate
and
you,
address
Jason.
whatever motions that.
Yeah, it
that
sucks
members
to
may or
like
may
wait
not
on the phone that long and then not be
as
able
per
to
usual,
fucking talk.
Memos with budget impact would be referred to
terrible.
the budget committee, and we'll look at other motions as they come forward in terms
People
of special
ask me,
studies
why don't
and
you
how
go
we
there?
can
Why
address
don't you
things.
call in? That's why.
As you know, I always try to accommodate everything we possibly can.
Fuck, wasting my time with
as a
that
council.
shit when they don't give
But
a fuck
There's a lot
anyways.
of work that's been done in terms of getting us to where we are, and if we're going to make big changes, then that would go back to the committee for further analysis. So that pretty much, and then we will start at 10, and we'll work toward however long it takes. It could take us. We're scheduled from 10 to 7 p.m. I don't expect or hope that it would go that long, but a lot of that is up to us as a body and how many changes we want to make and how much discussion we want to have. So that pretty much explains it. So you put us in recess, and we'll take it from there.
All right, we are in recess until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Thank you, everybody.
All right. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That was a long one anyways. That was a long one. So that one was long and painful. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Well, at least we got something in. Sucks that all those people that were waiting, like I said, the ones who watch the show and even the other ones who don't want to, like Daniel Gus and Eric Previn and all them, Rob Kwan and Richard Serrano, they all want to call in too. They want to voice their opinions, as they should, and now they've been held off the phone. You figure, it's more convenient than having to go in. And like somebody explained earlier, not only you have to waste $5 to $6 a gallon gas to get down there, sit in the traffic, pay to park, you know what I mean, and then waste fucking 3 hours of your day to get 1 minute of comment if you're lucky. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. And then have to drive all the way home and waste your gas or go on the metro. Just take the train, Damon, or a bus. It's even more dangerous, risking your life. Get shot or stabbed on that motherfucker daily. So, thank you guys for joining me. I will see you guys live on Friday for double shows. And, of course, if there's a live chase that pops off, that's why you always got to keep the notifications on so that way you get the live chases. So, I'll be around for live chases. I'm just going to be doing some cards and stuff. And that's really about it for now. You guys have a fantastic day. Happy hump day. Like I said, 2 shows Friday. So don't forget about that. And other than that, I guess that's it. On behalf of Stink Bomb, his camera's off. On behalf of Stink Bomb and myself, we're out of here for now. Enjoy your day.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Bye, y'all.